folks. Hello. Good evening. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Good to see you all. Hope you're doing so well tonight. Oh, goodness. That side. Always this side. And why I hate how this camera has like almost a fish lens effect. There we go. Real quick. Good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be in the world, to Hammond, you get used to it. Alleluia TV, Hawk Godly, Deathsaw, and Fangs out. Thanks so much for those. Ola Sking for Demons, my dudes. Hope you're all doing great. So, we're gonna try and finish this campaign tonight. I don't know if we will succeed. There's still a decent amount to do, especially because I would like to wipe out Dark Elves, kind of for like narrative purposes. And we also still need to wipe out Clan Moors, I think. Yeah. Polygon? Yeah, I bet, dude. Hope your day was alright. Alright, let's get to it. Wall of Phoenix King. Where are all my armies?
Can I offer assistance?
Okay, we've got this chick guarding the north, because this is where the greenskins were coming from, but we've dealt with them. Chaos is invading, and it looks like the invasion is penetrating pretty far south, so we may need to go help with that sooner rather than later. What the hell is Imrick? Where's my boy? Oh, I'm over here. That's right, because I have to capture this area. Alright, cool. Who was Imrick's arch enemy in the lore or tabletop? I would probably say Malekith. Malekith and Imrick. Imrick really wanted to fight Malekith, and he really hated him. But Malekith always avoided Imrick because he wasn't an idiot, and he knew Imrick was the master of dragons, and so his dragon Seraphon would not be able to overwhelm Menathnir. So he chose to avoid them constantly. I would say if you were going to pick a specific character to probably be like one of his biggest rivals, it would probably be and I'm drawing a hardcore blank. The beast guy. What, Radikar?
Tradition is maintained.
The FLC guy that we got. Not Radikar. Radikar's a vampire. Gosh darn it. I am having a hardcore brain fart right now. The Rakarth, thank you. Rakarth. Yes, Rakarth would probably, if Rakarth had been a more fleshed out character, he would have absolutely been like the ultimate rival of Imrick. As like he basically stands for everything that Imrick hates. Being a individual who tries to subjugate
Follow the dragon.
the dragons in particular to his will.
They will know Calador's name. Join the kingdom of dragons.
Hey, totally not ironic. Your English is great, dude, and thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you're enjoying those. Fangs out. So we were just talking in the Discord. Do you think Caradrian would make a better legendary lord, legendary hero? I think Caradrian should be a legendary lord. I think having a very tanky focused character who's really big on having like lots of saves and has the ability to ride phoenixes would make for a better lord than hero. When it comes to
Glory awaits.
Legendary heroes, I want Corhill. I think Corhill would make a better legendary hero than Caradryan would.
Their life is forfeit.
You fail that. Are Dark Elf Dragons friends? No. No. Black dragons are usually very, very tortured, insane creatures who are, for the most part, completely out of their minds.
The red host.
Cursed
Sotek spawn.
Just endure
Hey Sotek, hope you are
terrible
doing
amounts of
well.
suffering.
I'm terrible at catching you live, so I've been going through the backlog. I don't think I ever found the answer to what gear would you take, including character gear, if you were isekai'd into the Warhammer world.
Crap! Someone remembered to ask about that. Okay, DreadCon 621. You know what? I'm gonna answer that right now. So here I would take it to the Warhammer World. Would be okay. Granted, I'm not necessarily gonna pick the gear that I think would necessarily like keep me alive the most, but the gear that I think would make for an appropriate enough set that I would feel very powerful and very comfortable. So what I would do, let's assume I'm able to cast magic, right? I have the ability to access magic, therefore I can take arcane items, right? Because otherwise I would have to waste my enchanted slot on giving me magical powers. Which is totally... Actually, I guess, no, let's assume I don't have magic. That'll actually make it more interesting. So, I would say, for my armor, I would go with, for my armor, I would probably want to have either... I wouldn't want a cursed set of armor, like a set of armor that's going to come with really bad downsides. So I would probably take Thorgrim Grudgebearer's armor, which I am drawing a hardcore blank on what it's called right now. I would either want Thorgrim's armor or Grombrindal's armor. Both of their armor sets are like literal god tier. As far as like the protection they provide and all of those like resistances to just all sorts of... Yeah, I think it's the Armor of Skaldor. But just, like, resistances and protections against virtually everything in existence. For my weapon... Galmaraz. I would go with Galmaraz. Galmaraz, you can pick it up and wield it as a human, and it is one of the most powerful weapons in existence. You can wield it one-handed or two-handed, and, I think I would probably adopt the Faith of Sigmar very, very quick. And hopefully my faith would be enough to invoke Galmaraz's full power. So Galmaraz for my weapon. For my talisman, I would take... assuming I can't cast magic, which is very likely... I would want the, I would want, God, hold on. I'm gonna pull up a program because I know the characters I'm thinking of, but I can't remember what their items' specific names are, and I want to be specific. Hold on. I'm pulling up my cheat sheet. Pulling up my cheat sheet. Okay, so I want the Armor of Skaldor. Armor of Skaldor is, like, really, really good, solid armor to protect me from most forms of damage. Then I want Galmaraz as my weapon. And then for my talisman, I want the Talisman of Hoeth. The Talisman of Hoeth would be my talisman choice, because not only would it make me more resistant against magic, but it would also make me a wizard. So I would have the ability to interact with the winds of magic and be able to take an arcane item at that point. Because if you're not a wizard, arcane items are useless to you. So I would take the Talisman of Hoeth from Atharion the Grim. For my enchanted item, I would want the Hand of the Gods. The Hand of the Gods for my enchanted item, because that lets me shoot lasers out of my hand and also gives me the power of the Old Ones as a tanky badassery. A shield as well. So in Warhammer, you can only have one piece of magical equipment. You cannot have like a magical shield and a magic set of armor. According to like the laws of that universe. There are exceptions. If I was allowed to take a shield, I would take Belagar's shield in a heartbeat. But I would rather have a full set of armor than a super powerful shield. And then I would go for my arcane item. Ooh, what arcane item would I want? I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but I guess I would want something that would protect me from magic more than anything else. Because if you pick something that's hmm the War Crown of Safri would not be bad. That would just make me a more powerful wizard. There's also decisions. I'm scanning my brain in some character profiles for things that would protect me from bad magic scenarios. Cetra's amulet? No, that's a talisman. I already picked a talisman. That would not be a bad pick. Opinion on shipping Rapunzel with Krokgar? You do you, I guess. No opinion. No opinion here. Yeah, I'd probably go with the War Crown of Safri, just to make me like a very competent wizard from like nothing. So those would be my 5. No, I wouldn't pick the Sword of Cain or the Fellblade. Those come with downsides. If you take the Fellblade, you're literally carrying around like a giant dose of radioactive poison that's gonna kill you within minutes. Like a human running around with a Fellblade, no, you would die super fast. And the Sword of Cain comes with a whole bunch of problems. Probably the most... Oh, wait, no.
I need a moment.
Probably the most notable being that, like, it makes you insane. And, like, you're basically cursed to forever spill blood until you're eventually killed. Like, it comes with just a lot of downsides. That I would not want to have to deal with. But yeah, that would be like if I was as I am and I was teleported into the universe and like just minimally edited to be able to wield those items properly. Those would be the 5 items I would choose. I mean, if you're like, oh, you can turn into anything, well then I would probably turn myself into like a Slaane's Mage Priest or a Saurus and pick way beefier items. And like Peg says, awesome, dude. As long as it makes you happy. That's all that matters. Oh, we got the Fortunate. Nice. I should probably check on how the Warriors of Chaos Invasion is going. Make sure it doesn't just sneak up on me. But yeah, there. I have officially answered that question. AV Extreme, good to see you, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Still need the Tower of Mages, I guess. Ooh. Yeah, give me Arcane Studies. That'd be nice.
Ready to serve.
So I want you to go back to Mount Silverspear. Alright, so Chaos is not advancing through the mountains yet, so that's good.
March for Calador.
Right south and capture the dragon mines.
I claim it.
Dragonhorn mines. Hooray! We won the short campaign victory, but we're not done yet. That's not good enough for me. So we've officially won the short campaign. But I want to accomplish a couple of narrative goals, and I also want to beat the long campaign. I'm not settling for the short campaign. Not this time. Well, then get some sleep, Halaga. What do you... Go to bed.
I serve the Phoenix King.
Goof. We also need to deal with the pirates.
Master of high magic.
Oh, looks like we've got some allies. This will be fun.
Unfathomable knowledge.
To war! They're not close enough to help me. I guess we should fight this one. This is kind of the last stand of the Dreadfleet. What difficulty is this? I think just hard? Something like that? I don't know. It's either very hard or hard. I don't remember. It's not legendary, though. I don't like playing on legendary. Hathano! Hola! Welcome to the stream. Thanks so much for being here. Hammond, I'm really wanting to track down Rakarth. I'm really, that's kind of one of my big goals at the moment, is to track down Rakarth with Imrick. And also to exterminate the Dark Elves. We can't say we've had a successful victory as the High Elves until the Dark Elves are utterly defeated.
It will be done.
To say anything otherwise is, you know, obviously just empty words.
We will obey. Swordmaster of Hoeth. Spearman.
We got a pretty sexy army as far as I'm concerned.
Understood. Noble.
Noble, you're in front.
Chosen of Hoeth.
Oh, you're behind.
Asur Archmage.
Have I done any research on Igiel Steersborn and Bahamut Beastslayer? Not yet. I've been very, very busy this weekend, and especially earlier today. We have a new patio being installed. So I have been very, very busy dealing with that. Because they're taking out the old patio and putting in a new one, and it's very loud and busy and all this other stuff.
Disciple of Hoeth. I go for Ulthuan.
Oh.
Asur Archmage.
You know what? Looks like he's coming right for us. So let's back up to over here.
True magic is mine. Witness true magic.
Why don't I invoke my inner Hank Hill and do it myself? Dude, do you have any idea how difficult it would be to build your own patio? Like out of stone? It's not a wooden patio, it's a stone patio.
Orders received. Acknowledged. Loyal.
Asur
Archers,
Archmage.
open fire!
Observe my radiance.
It will be done.
Bone down.
Archers, as you say. Loyal. March. Eagle Claw.
Let's make sure we've got guard stance on.
As you say.
Weaver of the wind. Where I
Forward! You're not making it through those trees.
It will be done. It shall be done.
Oh, hello. You're large and problematic.
Noble, as you say. I am ready. Spearman.
Into them!
Sinner.
Unlimited power.
Yen Louis. Orders to see. Understood. Swordmaster of
Swordmasters!
Stepping forth. Move.
Fire going.
I summon the wind.
Good breath.
Acknowledge. Eagle Claw. Draw back.
Let's go.
Asa Archmage.
Transmutation of lead!
Behold my power.
Behold, debuff central!
Asturian's fire. Magic's unleashed.
Asturian roar.
Witness true magic.
For order. Acknowledge. For Ulthuan.
Poet guides me. I summon the winds.
I got.
Asa
I'm gonna let my magic get back up to 50 because I've got the signs of Mathlon.
Observe my radiance.
Where is Noctilus? There he is.
Command me.
Loremaster!
Attack.
Because us! Keep firing! Keep firing!
Spearman. Acknowledged. We will obey.
Oh, this will be a juicy fat breath attack.
It shall be done.
Archers! Focus the crab! Or actually, no.
For
Focus
Assyrian.
that crab. Dragon, let's take care of these mortars. So let's get these guns out of here.
Draw back.
Master of sorcery. Magic unleashed.
Loremaster of poem.
Final transmutation!
Asa, withdraw.
Behold my power.
Signs of Mathland? That not quite what I said. No. Close. Close. Master of Warhammer and Razor Dragontail, thanks so much for coming to the stream. Hola, both of you. Thanks so much for being here. Also, Drakon621, thank you again for using your Prime sub here, dude. I really appreciate it. You get used to it. First off, thanks for answering my question. Second, if you wish to achieve my dream of being stepped on Kalita, what would be the best route for me to take from Liberus, say, to the Empire, and how do you get in her good graces? Getting to Liberus from the Empire, that is a difficult journey. If you were to make it alive, you would have definitely earned being stepped on by that point. There's two ways to get there.
One prevails.
You could
Assyrian
either
protects.
try and
They'll spare
get on a
Asselhams
ship
from toil.
and follow it all the way around.
Rush of the heavens.
Man, yeah, there would be a lot of
Coin is
difficulties with it.
always required.
Ah, the Dreadfleet is defeated.
Master of high magic.
The oceans are safe, chat. We did it. Ugh.
High magic.
Gosh, thinking off the top of my head. Probably the best way to get there from the Empire would be to go by, I would say going by ocean would be the safest route. And you just go all the way around. You'd have to go all the way around the Southlands as if you were taking a naval route to Cathay, but you'd have to go up through the Straits of Nagash, or near them, because you'd go around the ocean. And then, well, you wouldn't have to quite go to the Straits of Nagash, but you'd come up into the Gulf of Fear and then make landfall somewhere in this ballpark and then head for Liberus. But as far as, like, getting her not to kill you, I mean, I would take a lot of goodies with you, and also do everything in your power to have, like, a very formal and very well-spoken man with a very long-reaching voice who really talks you up, and you have to take a lot of gifts, and kind of just do everything in your power to impress her enough to give you an audience. I mean, Khalida is easily probably the most diplomatic of the Tomb Kings. She would probably be the least likely to just have your guts ripped out on sight. But it would certainly, you would have to be very cautious to make sure that you did not accidentally insult her, through, like, saying something really idiotic, especially if you've got horny on the brain. Khalida is not, Khalida is represented by the goddess of beauty, being Asaf, among other things. But if you brought her some dead vampires or captured vampires that she could then kill, that would go a long way to impressing her. If you could bring her like some Alamian in chains, Khalida would probably be very interested in having a discussion. Getting her to step on you, though, would probably actually be pretty easy compared to, like, other things.
Born to commune with dragons, not lesser beings.
Calling Cetra a lesser being to his face. Sure, we'll join up with Cetra. He's powerful, and I respect that level of power. Thanks for the stretch, first ever chosen. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Drakon 621. Were there any characters who had the ability to invoke faith magic? I mean, faith is... faith does not require the winds of magic. Not strictly. It's something a little different than that. But any character that uses prayers, like Volkmar the Grim...
Relish this chance to look upon your better.
Oh god, who are all the prayer characters? And it used to be the way the Tomb Kings worked, but they changed that in later editions. But like Volkmar the Grim is a character that invokes prayers in battle and stuff like that. Faith magic isn't really so much a thing. It's just characters that are so devoted to a god that they are able to invoke faith. But yeah, well, it's just that. Oh, Palooka's here. Hey, Palooka, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you, my dude. Hope you're doing well.
Hi, Elven Archmage.
Hope work and all that jazz is going great, and you're feeling good and all that. Big Papa Reinhardt. I'm thinking of getting some dwarf memorabilia, either the Dragon Crown of Karaz or the Damas Kron. Thoughts? I mean, I think that the Dragon Crown would probably be a more impressive display piece, but also would require substantially more work from whoever it is you're essentially, I'm assuming, commissioning for that. I think the Damas Kron would also look super duper duper good, and would probably be a lot easier to have kind of fabricated. I mean, hell, if you got a collector's edition from Total War Warhammer 1, you basically have one. I would heavily recommend... I think the Damas Kron would be a lot more fun, and, like, if you wanted to go really ham on it and spend a lot of money, You could like look into having it being an actual book instead of just being a instead of just being a kind of like the one that Total War Warhammer gave for their collector's edition, which, you know, looks like a book, but obviously it's not. It's just it's kind of a visual trick. But that's up to you. I think those are probably the most iconic dwarf things. I would say the only other thing that's particularly iconic is probably like the Axe of Grimnir, either the one wielded by Thorgrim Grudgebearer or the one wielded by Gotrek Gurnison. And of course, Belagar's shield is also a pretty popular pick. Big LTK 421, hola, welcome to the stream. So glad you could make it, and thanks for being here, my dude. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Palooka, where are we at? What's the schedule, my dude? Do I consider dwarves to be the best short stack race? In what context? Am I getting dwarf stuff? No. So someone in chat was asking a question about dwarf stuff. Flaming KM. I mean, there are a lot of female characters in Warhammer who essentially wield horniness as a weapon, which, you know, it's fair. They are attractive and they know it, and they indulge in it. Morathi is a good example of that. Morathi wears very, very little armor, and Morathi very actively uses seduction as a weapon and a tool, especially for like negotiations and manipulation. You also have Neferata and the Lamians are very, very big on wielding the power of horny. They greatly enjoy it. I mean, the whole thing with Lamians is that Lamians are the best when it comes to they have a spy network, and the way their spy network works is that the Lamian vampires will often own like whorehouses or like, you know, places where women of the night work, many of which are thralls or are just Lamians that sleep with men very high in society, and it's so they can lure them into a one-on-one space and use their magic to basically they use their hypnotizing gazes, because some vampires have the ability to hypnotize you by looking at you, and that is a skill the Lamians in particular specialize in. So they're very, very big on seduction and utilizing pillow talk as a notable way to get information. You know, they lure these men in with attractive women, and then they do things like they mainly do things that focus on like learning trade secrets, learning who they're meeting with, and they're really big on trying to get people who are like high in society. John Dwayneson. So in Warhammer Fantasy as it was, this may change in the upcoming The Old World, we don't know yet, but in the way things used to be, the universe that Total War Warhammer is based off of, half-breeding just could not physically happen. It's just not something that it's not something that can physically occur. It's like trying to it would be like trying to breed like a cat and a dog. They're just too different.
What have I done to deserve discourse with one so lowly?
Oh, but he is offering us money, and I will take Dwarven money. Dwarves, elves, and humans are immensely far apart. Dwarves, elves, and humans were created from oh, the Lamians are dead. That's actually a bad thing, because that means that chaos is probably coming right towards us. Yep, that's a chaos portal. Oh dear. Oh dear.
People arrested.
I guess I should hurry up and get a wizard on the way. We'll summon a wizard from Pig Barter. Wait, how much longer do I have on my... I got 3 more turns on that tech. Yeah, let's go ahead and summon a wizard. But yeah, no. Humans, elves, and dwarves could not be further apart from all of each other. Elves are not even remotely human. Nor are dwarves. Like, probably the closest races to one another are halflings and ogres. Halflings and ogres share a lot of, share like a common ancestor, so to speak. But yeah, no, like elves, you have to remember that elves are very different than humans in Warhammer. Like, even though Total War Warhammer kind of essentially cut some corners in order to make the game just easier, elves in Warhammer Fantasy are very distinct looking, and they're very different looking. They are not just humans with pointy ears. They are wildly different looking creatures in that they have very alien looking faces, and that they have kind of these like almond shaped eyes that are slanted a bit. And usually elves are many elves have like their eyes are terrifying looking because they have these like almost very deep eyes that are all focused around that are usually like a singular color, many times black. Yeah, Carillion from Vermintide is the most lore accurate version of a Warhammer elf. So like if you look up Carillion, you would never mistake her for being human. Like you know, it's very easy to say like, yeah, she's like a very attractive character, like you could easily see how a human would look at that and be like, yeah, sure, I'd go in on that. But they are not they're just not even remotely human. You could sleep with an elf, but you're not going to have kids from it. They're just too different. Like, elves and humans don't even have a common ancestor in the Warhammer world, like they do in... I assume they do in many fantasy universes. Okay, so this lady needs a wizard. We're running a very archer-heavy army, so I'm kind of thinking maybe high magic. Maybe we could do... Light would also not be bad. Not great. Heavens. Not bad. Ooh, especially if we did Conductor, then we could double up on Urian's Thunderbolt. Death. Big Guardian. What do we got on? I don't think. Let's do high magic. Go for an administrator.
Mage of the White Tower.
All right, so let's get Apotheosis, Hand of Glory, Shield of Sapphire, and Hand of Glory. Wait, no, we should probably get a damage spell actually. So let's do that. If you want to know what a Warhammer elf looks like, literally just go to Google and type in Carillion Vermintide 2. That's all you gotta do. But all of the elves are the same species. So like a dark elf, a high elf, and a wood elf, though there are like very minor differences between them, as far as like they could absolutely have children together. Like they're all the same general species. Yes. Dragon ogres and zotes, I would presume no. Listen, just because they look vaguely similar in that they like one of them has they both run around on 4 legs, does not mean that they're all the same species. That's kind of a gross oversimplification, I think. And we'll see what the intelligence returns actually.
I'm waiting.
But they both have 4 legs. Yeah, those are wildly far apart. Also, chat, y'all are very horny today.
I wield
We'll
the
pass it
wind.
off as academic curiosity, but y'all are down bad today.
Daggers in the dark. Master of Drakes.
Not that I'm judging. I mean, you do you. I'm not here to judge. Ah, finally we got Caldor to level 5. Ugh. Ugh. All right, we're gonna send
Purest
Yin
sorcery.
Louis to help push the Dark Elves out of Ulthuan. Imrick is gonna focus on wiping out the Skaven, and our Archer Lady is gonna make sure to protect the Northern Pass to the Darklands. What are we gonna see in September from Total War Warhammer 3? Cathay! Guys, Cathay month starts in 2 days. The month of Cathay is in 2 days. Are y'all excited? I'm excited. Palooka, when do you think you're gonna be starting Lord Croak? When do you want me to pay you? Will we get any news this week? No, I doubt it. We probably will not hear news until next week. I don't think it's going to be like September 1st. It's probably going to be like the first week or 2 of September. Before I go to bed, can I get a cool lore fact about Nyeth the Prophetess? Oh, Nyeth the Prophetess is such a cool character. So, I'll tell you a cool real-world fact about her, and then I will tell you a cool lore fact about her. So, I would say that a cool real-world fact about Nyeth the Prophetess is that her design, in case you've never looked at it, is actually basically a halfway point between 40k Eldar and fantasy elves. Like, she has if you look at like the way her armor and her particularly her helmet, and there's a gem set on her head that's designed in her original artwork, she actually has a really cool kind of reference to the Eldari of that style, which is a really cool thing about her. And then when it comes to a cool lore fact about Nyeth, I think my favorite thing about Nyeth the Prophetess is that she's one of the only characters who can walk through the Dreaming Woods unharmed. So what is happening in chat? What are y'all doing? What? The Dreaming Woods is basically like a hellscape within Athel Loren that's haunted by Slanesh demons. But Nyeth the Prophetess is such a badass, she can walk through it without warning. Palooka, behave yourself, please. Let us. I assume Creative Assembly is going to be tactful about how they do Cathay, just like they're tactful about how they do every universe. Nah, it's okay, guys. It's okay. I know Palooka very well. It's okay. Don't bite the bait. What is policy on your mama joke in chat? Go. I don't give a shit, dude. Why would I give a shit about your mama joke in chat? I don't care. I don't care. Let's see, we could upgrade our rangers and archers. I kind of want something for... Oh, well, she's got a... Wow, there's no cavalry god? Phoenix Guard, Sword Masters, Dragon Princes, all the White Lion stuff, Spearmen, Rangers, Archers, Dragons, Lothern Sea Guard, Chariots. That's kind of a bummer. I designed this army around, like, Illyrian Reavers and Silverhelms. I guess we could upgrade it to Dragon Princes. That wouldn't be too bad. Kind of a bummer. I like this army theme. But whatever, we'll do this first.
The Ethua answers to me. The winds hearken to me.
Okay. What races survived the purge the Lizardmen did for the old ones? And are there any notable, remarkable races that were wiped out? I wouldn't say that we have much of any records on, like, notable races that were destroyed. They pretty much just kind of, like, leave it at, like, a hand-wavy, like, the ones that were destroyed have been lost to time kind of shenanigans. So I would not say that we really have any great info on that. Like, we do know that the Famir were very badly hurt by that war. We know that God, who else was super involved in that? The Dragon Ogres took some pretty nasty hits from that war.
My axe thirsts for war.
I mean, there aren't a lot of specifics. I mean, that is literally probably one of the most mysterious ages within Warhammer Fantasy, just because the details are so rare. Master of Warhammer, just drop it, dude. It's fine. Leave it.
Setting the pace.
Let's see. Hathano! How does death magic interact with demons? It kills them? You have to remember that when demons manifest themselves into the physical plane, they have to behave by the physical laws. So, like, a demon that's in the physical plane is, like, they still have to obey the laws of physics and the laws of, like, having a body. So if you stab them in the heart, they die. Or if you hit them with a spell that, you know, rapidly ages a part of their body, it will collapse into dust and all that other stuff. They still have to behave by all those rules. So death magic would affect demons fairly normally. The only thing death magic probably would not have much of an effect on demons is if you were trying to mess with them psychologically. If you were attempting to, say, like, make demons, like, have horrible nightmares to cause them to, like, throw down their weapons and panic, that's not gonna work. You can't mess with demons psychologically through magic. Other than, like, spooking them by threatening to destroy their corporeal forms, and they really don't want that, or by threatening to, like, imprison them or something. But there's not, like, a spell that can twist their mind. Like, Doom and Darkness, for instance, would have a fairly not good effect against demons. It would be able to help at banishing them, but it would not be the most effective way to do that. Can their corpses be resurrected by necromancers and vampires? No, demons do not leave behind corpses. With very, very rare exceptions. Like, sometimes there can be some magical shenanigans that cause a body to be left behind, but in general, demons do not leave behind bodies. When they die, they dissolve. They basically, like, melt away into nothingness. Do I have a 40k army? Not really. I have a good amount. I have a decent amount of Tyrannid models. So, like, if I were to play 40k, I would absolutely play
You
Tyranids.
summoned me?
However, I have not, like, played since the last edition. I haven't played any 9th edition. I just don't have the time. The Voidbearer, when Throg was released, I personally was not super happy with the direction they took him. I really enjoyed Throg in Kinslayer, where he is, like, actually intelligent. He's not just, like, smart for a troll. He's just smart. Total War decided to take it in the direction where he is smart for a troll. Which I was a little disappointed by, but it's, like, it's way too late to do anything about that. Could you use parts of a demon? Yeah, if you knew how to capture them.
High
If you know how to capture their essence, which can be done, it's just difficult. He's a troll? Yeah, but he's a troll that has been mutated by the Dark Gods to be very smart. Like, the whole thing with Throg, it depends on the author you're dealing with. When they wrote a book about him, which is the Gotrek and Felix book, the author, who wrote Kinslayer? Kinslayer was David Geimer. I love David Geimer. But David Geimer very specifically wrote Throg, where Throg he's very intelligent, and the thing for him is that he's lonely. Like, he is the only troll that is smart. But Throg cares, like, Throg, you know, does enjoy fighting and, you know, indulging in physical pleasures like eating. Like all trolls do, but Throg is ambitious. Like, Throg is... You have to remember that Throg's ultimate goal isn't just to eat and, like, that's it. That's, like, his master plan. Throg legit has a plan where he wants to bring about the age of monsters, the age of ice. You know, Throg is not... He's not just a dumb troll. He's way more than that. In that, like, his core philosophy is that he hates humanity. Hates humanity. And he wants to bring about an age of ice, an age of monsters where him and his kind can be in control. Because he just absolutely despises all other creatures.
Boundless wisdom.
Got any lore on the Green Knight? I mean, probably the most interesting thing about the Green Knight is that he is, of course, Gilles Le Breton, brought back by the Lady of the Lake, resurrected to continue to protect Bretonia. So he was the first ever Grail Knight, the first king of Bretonia. And he basically spends all of his immortal time protecting the land when he's not busy spending time with the Lady of the Lake. But probably one of my favorite facts about him
joins the red
is
host.
that
Cursed Sotek spawn.
Is there a duel in fantasy that is considered the most epic of the setting? If not, what is your favorite?
That's a good question. Hold on, let me finish answering the question I was just answering. Oh god, what was the question I was just answering? Ah, brain fart! Oh god, what was it? What were you just talking about? Someone in chat will remind me. What was I just talking? Oh, the Green Knight. Yeah, so he's Gilles Le Breton, but my favorite thing about him is that in his lore, he has a lot of callbacks to the original myth of the original Green Knight, the one from Arthurian legend, where he kind of has this whole thing going that is really fun about how he actually, for many knights who want to become Grail Knights, so questing knights, you have all these questing knights running around trying to prove themselves worthy of the Grail, and a not super common challenge, but a challenge that will sometimes be presented to them is the challenge of the Green Knight. And the challenge of the Green Knight is that you'll be minding your own business, riding around, and all of a sudden you'll be set upon by like a mysterious fog, or the forest will go like really eerily quiet around you, and you'll be kind of sitting there waiting for just something to happen. And what'll end up happening is that the Green Knight will ride out and challenge you to a duel.
It does not warrant.
And you have to defend yourself and fight the Green Knight, who's one of the most skilled combatants in all of Bretonnia. And frankly, in most of the Warhammer world, like, he's an absolute badass. And you have this epic duel with him, and like, he will not pull his punches. Like, he'll kill you if you prove unworthy. But for those who do manage to defeat him, it's basically like a guaranteed opportunity to drink from the Grail. And many people who have the number of knights who have defeated him, it's always a funny moment because they land a killing blow on him. Like, for instance, Lewin Laenker, according to various legends, is said to have fought Gilles Le Breton, or the Green Knight, to earn his Grail vow. And when he battled the Green Knight, he actually chopped off his head. So he managed to decapitate him. And the Green Knight will just like he'll just pause and just be like, and then he'll just lower his sword, pick up his head, tuck it under his arm, salute you, jump on his horse, and rides off into the night. So he's very spooky. But another thing I love about the Green Knight is that there is a good amount of lore that suggests that what he does in a lot of his free time that I absolutely love is that in a lot of his free time, he actually runs around just defending sites. So showing up out of nowhere to save people or to defend Grail shrines and stuff. You know, where like you'll have this army of beastmen like attacking some innocent traveler, like a child or something. The Green Knight will just come charging out of a tree, like literally out of the tree, and just start like tearing people to shreds. He's a fantastic character, and like the beastmen in particular are terrified of the Green Knight. They are keenly aware of his existence, because he hates them pretty much more than anything else. But Greenskins and Beastmen are actively hunted by the Green Knight. Spartan Elite, thanks so much for the Tier 1 sub, dude. Appreciate the support. Duel in Fantasy that's considered the most epic. The most epic duel in Warhammer Fantasy. I mean, if you count the end times, Grimgor Ironhide versus Archaon was pretty freaking hype. So was Sigmar versus Archaon. Both of those were fantastic battles. Weak Headtaker versus Belagar was really, really good. If you don't, I mean, the End Times was full of really, really cool moments. But if you don't count the End Times, probably some of the best duels. The first time Setra the Imperishable fought Nagash was pretty good. Rapunce de Lyonesse versus oh god, I've got his name written here somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. Karan the Blighted. Karan the Blighted versus Rapunce de Lyonesse was amazing. That is a super badass fight. But that was like, or that was a duel. Like, that was an incredible duel. Grimgor versus Fardic Krom was good. Gotrek had a lot of really, really good duels. Well, they said duel, so I'm assuming he's not asking about like particular. I assume he's asking about one-on-one fights. You know, when it comes to like dealing with the likes of like Anarian and Croak and stuff. Tyrion versus Urian Poisonblade, yeah, that was a really, really good one. Teclis versus Malekith. Teclis versus Malekith during the Battle of Finnevar Plain. That was a super duper, that was a very well written fight. And probably one of the best magical duels in Warhammer Fantasy. Kroq-Gar versus Vashnar the Tormentor. Kroq-Gar versus Vashnar the Tormentor was really, really good.
Orders received.
Trying to think. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a few. Who did Orion fight in the end times? Orion's big fight was against Tyrion, which also was a good fight, even though Orion ends up losing in the end.
Master of sorcery.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as like reading a book, and getting to enjoy a duel that just where I was just like, oh my god, but probably my favorite one in the setting is Kroq-Gar. Kroq-Gar versus Vashnar the Tormentor was amazing. Why are Grail Knights so much stronger than other gods' champions? They're not if you count like Chaos, like big bad Chaos champions. I would say are on pretty damn even footing with Grail Knights. But the reason is that most gods just empower their followers by like granting them like a blessing or something. The Lady of the Lake literally comes down and allows the Grail Knights to like drink from her godly essence. Like she is literally giving a part of herself to the Grail Knights. So like they literally have a piece of divinity in them, which is way more of a like commitment and level of power than just casually like granting a boon or giving a blessed item or something like that.
Assault Archmage.
All right, so we want to focus.
Orders received. It shall be done. Eagle Claw.
Check out that Hydra.
Disciple of poets.
Swordmaster of poets. Assa attack. Attack.
With me.
I am ready. Safi. Done.
Hunt down those lizard trinkets.
Acknowledge. It will be done.
Spearmen, forward.
Attack. Lakoi.
Good job.
Then we will obey. For Ulthuan.
True magic is mine.
Get down a big fat debuff.
Behold my power.
For Azorian.
Good job. Good breath attack. Good breath attack.
Led by Hoat.
Seal.
Ow.
Assault Archmage. Witness true magic.
Make it rain.
My radiance.
Loyal. It shall be done. Archers. For duty. To the fray.
Magic's unleashed.
Good job.
Quickly now. Oriole.
Good job, lads. Hunt them down. Hunt them down.
Unlimited power. I summon the winds.
Let's hunt down some archers.
Assault Archmage. Witness true magic.
Archers, open fire.
Go.
Bolters, get back online.
Loyal. Orders received.
Take down the general. Fire!
Boom
Let's see. John Dwayne, if you count the salons keeping up the vortex, if I remember correctly, some salon are always keeping. Yep. Are the lizardmen the most powerful race? It depends on how you define power. Like that's kind of a complicated question, because like power in a scenario like that is always very difficult to define. Like, you know, what are your parameters? You know what I mean? What I would say is that the lizardmen are in many ways still one of the strongest races to exist. You know, when it comes down to like at the end of the day, the relics they have access to are just beyond anything any race that currently lives could ever forge. Hey, Rustpaw, thanks so much for the tier 1 sub. Welcome to the Red Host, my dude, and I hope you enjoy your time with us. The emotes and all that. Make sure you join up on the Discord community and all that jazz. And link your Discord account to your Twitch account. There's cool stuff going on there these days. Yeah, I would definitely say the lizardmen are certainly one of the strongest. I don't know if I'd say they are the strongest. I think at the end of the day, the Demons of Chaos are probably the strongest race, because they're like true immortals and killing them is virtually impossible. Except for a few like insanely difficult to achieve circumstances. Let's see. Hathano, Skaven, Hobgoblin, Dark Elf walk into a bar. Who's getting shanked in the back first? The Skaven would absolutely be... Well... The Hobgoblin would probably get killed first. The Hobgoblin would probably go down the quickest. I think the Skaven would at least be able to, like, be pathetic enough, or, pretend to be pathetic enough that he might be able to, you know, get people to ignore him for a moment. But hobgoblins are such like repulsive and nasty little creatures. Well, they're not exactly little, but they're like everybody hates them. He'd probably go down very fast. And what fight would I really have loved to see in fantasy? Master of Warhammer, are you asking me those two specifically? Or sorry, those 3 specifically, or are you asking like just what if I could make any matchup, what would I have done?
Well, what is it? Do not squander the Dragon Prince's time.
And flayers.
For the wisdom of Valea.
Hey, Skaven are annoying. Okay, looks like the Skaven have been pushed out of the mountains entirely. So that's really good. They're just down south now.
Imrick.
So we're gonna send Imrick. I don't think the Skaven own any of this territory. Oh, but God, he's got like all of this. Oh my God. So I think we're gonna have Imrick go for the mountains. Well, you know what? No, we're not. No, we're not. Imrick's gonna go to the ocean.
First, offer thanks to
because I really want to go fight the Dark Elves with him. We'll bring our cavalry lady down. It doesn't seem like chaos is coming through Dead Rock Gap. I think we're safe. Worst case scenario, we can always get an emergency lord. So we're gonna send her down to flush out the Skaven. Worst case scenario, we can always try and recruit an emergency character. Oh, Vol's Anvil! Yeah, the Hall of Dragons! Oh, finally. Oh, finally. Been waiting all campaign for this building. Pick one out of those 3. I would have done Lord Skrulk versus Tehinuin. Lord Skrulk versus Tehinuin would easily be my pick.
Of high magic.
All right, we're gonna do our best to help the High Elves defend Ulthuan because Malekith is invading something fierce right now. Yes, we're gonna do Dedicated to Hoeth, and then we're gonna take Crackling Potency. Where do special lores of magic come from? So the special lores of magic, I assume you mean the ones, well, I guess you specify. Yeah, so not the battle lores. The special lore, so to speak, are basically lores that they are essentially one of the lores of magic twisted because they are combined with some other element. So in most cases, it's something like the lore of high magic, for instance, is all 8 lores of magic combined in balance. So it's like a perfect balancing act between all 8 of the natural winds of magic. And it's very, very, very difficult to pull off because it's so nitpicky and specific. Whereas the lore of dark magic is just all of the lores just slapped together with no shits given, and trying to create the most powerful and just like destructive form of magic that you can possibly conceive of, which, you know, will work, but it does it makes it very, very dangerous to use because it's just so unstable, and comes at a great cost, which is why people who use dark magic often suffer very heavily from physical ailments, or have various issues such as like they age unusually fast, or they're very, very weak, or perhaps they use like a lot of blood sacrifice to power it, stuff like that. And then all of the other lores of magic are basically like the lore of the Wa, the lore of the Great Maw, the lore of the Wild, the lore of Nehekara. All of those lores are essentially lores of magic that are often cast through like a god as a medium. So instead of the wizard in question just like, you know, grabbing the winds of magic and manipulating them themselves, and using them in like their intended forms, these are most traditionally forms of magic that are basically one or more lores, but they are kind of channeled or funneled through the might or will of a deity. So in the case of the Little Wa and the Big Wa, it's funneled through Gork or Mork. In the case of the Lore of the Wild, or Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh, you know, it's funneled through the Dark Gods. If, you know, the Lore of the Great Maw is funneled through the Great Maw itself. So those lores kind of operate almost a halfway point between a prayer lore, or a form of prayer and regular magic. Which the upside to those is that they are more powerful than if they were just simple prayers. The downside is that they're also far more unstable than if they were just traditional prayers. So there's a bit of a trade-off depending on the lore in question. You know, where you have like the lore of the Great Maw is very, very powerful and comes with a lot of spells that like work very synergistically with the ogres, and that they're very big on like empowering the ogres and weakening enemies and all this stuff. But because all that magic's being funneled through the Great Maw is this ever-hungering deity that never ceases to attempt to be devouring everything. And so whenever they cast those spells, because they're like directly interacting with the Great Maw, the Great Maw's hunger is affecting them, which can cause them to like have part of their very soul or their very essence devoured by the Great Maw, like at that moment, which can be very, very painful. But sometimes, instead, they are, you know, they receive the blessing of the Great Maw instead, and it nourishes them and heals them. So, you know, there's magic's a complicated system, but there are a lot of trade-offs here and there. Look out!
Spearmen, we will obey. Loremaster of poet.
Master of sorcery.
Archers!
Behold my power!
You wanna go, Malekith? Let's go, dude. Archers, focus the Witch King!
Swordmaster of poet.
Oh my god, everything's going crazy.
We will obey. Swordmaster of poet.
Oh, these Doomfire Warlocks are very painful.
Summon the winds! Witness true
Wow, that's
magic!
that's my strongest dragon, and he's still getting the absolute shit beat out of him.
Without fail.
Asur Archmage! Magic unleashed! Observe my radiance!
Bring him down! Bring him down!
Understood.
Disciple of Hoek! The winds blow through me! I summon the winds!
Asa attack. Eagle claw. Draw back.
Get your ass down here!
Witness true magic!
Following orders.
Unlimited power!
Good, absolute. Oh god, he's back. Well, this is
Asur Archmage!
a little dangerous.
Magic's unleashed!
Oh my god,
Weaver of the winds!
there's so many bounce spells.
Draw back. Warrior. Asa attack. Retire.
Observe my radiance! Asur Archmage! Behold
Oh my sweet god, dude. He's got so many powers. Ah! Wonder what level he is. Damn. Dude, those warlocks just absolutely obliterated our swordmasters. Like, that's ripped them to pieces. Poor bastards. Let's see. Who would I consider the deadliest martial duelist in Warhammer? The deadliest duelist? Probably either Tyrion or Archaon. Those would probably be the two nastiest to go one-on-one against.
Another time,
Ugh.
villain.
Well,
Master of
we got our
magic.
way
Full speed, Asur.
to Tor Yvrys.
Toward power. I see.
At least we got out of there in one piece. At least at the moment. Probably gonna need some cavalry in this army. If I had to hire one character in all the setting to assassinate someone, who would it be and why? If you're looking to have it done quickly, I would go with Deathmaster Snitch. If you're looking to have it done, like, you don't really care the exact timetable, but you want it done to perfection, no mistakes, I would go with Oxiodal. Oxiodal is the best assassin in Warhammer. But he also takes longer because it's much more. He has a much longer process. Okay, I want to tell Khalida to help bring down.
High Queen Khalida.
Dang vermin. These ding dang vermin. Oh, she's not at war with them. That's fine. Alright.
Lady of the Phoenix Court. Moving out.
We ride for Maroc.
Standing by.
What about Shadowblade? Shadowblade's alright. Oh no, this garrison is like really bad. Well, it was it was an honor serving with you all. We're gonna go out fighting. Will I eventually declare war on Karazakarak and take back the Phoenix Crown? No. I don't think Imrick would care particularly very much about that. Well, I don't know, I'll think about it. We have bigger fish to fry at the moment. We're gonna wait back here so that our allies at least have a chance to get to us.
Swordmaster of Hoeth.
Get the wardens here so I can get that 10% ward save. We'll hide our wizard in the woods.
Skyran protects me.
Archers.
Hopefully Malekith will be over aggressive and I can kill him. Oh, how I wish I had a life wizard.
Loremaster of
All of a sudden.
servant of the tower.
Alright, we're moving with them. Let's go.
I will go. Asor Archmage.
Dude, guys, if y'all got lore questions,
Sorcery.
most of the time we're gonna ask that you know, try and use the lore redeem because stuff's busy.
Asorian's fire.
Should be able to get a decent breath attack. Athano and Man Like Pegasus have great nights, dude. Only got 600 health. I'm gonna have to be cautious. Nope, 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 nope.
Loremaster of power.
God, he's just going right for him.
I will not tarry.
The great battle of our age.
Unlimited power. Behold my power.
Let's cast. That's rude.
I summon the wind. Asor Archmage.
Oh, Malekith's dead. Oh, I didn't even realize my other dragon died.
Observe my radiance.
Alright, we're clear on this side. Forward!
Disciple of power. Magic's unleashed.
For duty.
Witness true magic. I summon the winds.
As you say.
Turn and fire! Turn and fire!
Behold my power.
Attack!
Oh my god, we're gonna win.
Vessel Archmage.
Hold the line!
White Tower Guardian! Understood!
Forward! Archers, forward!
Defend in order.
I sally forth.
Urathan! Advancing!
Spellcaster supreme.
For Torivris!
The winds blow through me.
Oh my god, it's a Christmas miracle, chat. It's a damn Christmas miracle.
Unleashed.
Oh my gosh. We survived. Ugh.
Weaver of the winds. It is my destination.
The
Good job.
Good!
Good job, everyone. We narrowly survived that mess. Didn't catch anyone. Didn't make a spell. I can- Oh, that was a good one. Woof! Hey, Brand Muffin Rex, thanks so much for coming to the stream. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. You're having a great day. What's my favorite Malekith moment? I mean, my favorite Malekith moment from his story. My favorite moment with Malekith is when he attends Snorri Whitebeard as Snorri Whitebeard is dying. That is a genuinely heartbreaking moment of Malekith losing like one of his only genuine friends.
Joins the red
Hey,
host
Baptomate,
at
thanks so much for the Prime sub. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
cursed Sotek spawn.
Goodbye, Malekith.
Yeah, goodbye, Malekith, indeed.
Perhaps their master values them.
Got immortal and beloved. Very nice. But I would say that my top moments from Malekith is when Snorri Whitebeard dies, and you get to see Malekith at his best, which is him losing one of his dear friends. Also, another moment I really enjoyed was when Malekith defeated his mother. So when Malekith actually came back from the war in the old world, because of all of the crap going on in Ulthuan with the Cult of Pleasure, he was actually the one that brought Morathi down. And they actually did fight. Like, Morathi did not just, like, casually hand herself over to them. They actually had a battle. And he actually manages to defeat her, which is, it's a badass moment. Because it just shows how far he had come. And how much he had grown. Because the first time they fought that you really get to see, it does not go well for him. So, I mean, that moment's really cool. Oh, I should get Glittering Robe. What am I doing? Give me that sweet, sweet armor. Let's do Glittering Robe and get Transmutation of Lead to be cheap.
Master of high
Oh,
magic.
great. Morathi's, like, right there.
Ulthuan's Archmage.
Gosh. Man, I really wish you could garrison friendly cities.
Archmage. Brick. Ulthuan prevails.
Alright, so we
Azurian
wiped out...
protects.
We wiped out
Led by the
Malekith's
winds.
army, and now we're gonna get the hell out of here.
Speed, Asur.
We're gonna fall back to Calador.
A new fortress.
Ugh. Pain. Very much pain.
High
But we
elven
actually survived.
archmage.
That's the important part. We'll do knowledge of high elf affairs, seeing you live here. Do I think Malekith would have betrayed? No, I don't think Malekith would have become the Witch King if Snorri was still alive.
Setting the pace.
I think everything that happened in Ulthuan. The thing is, as long as Snorri was alive, I don't think Malekith would have ever gone home. I think that the only reason Malekith even went back in the first place and started all of the poor decisions that ended up leading to him becoming the Witch King, I don't think any of that would have happened if Snorri was still alive, because I think Malekith would have just stayed in the old world to be with his friend. I don't think he would have... Because the problem was that he went back. Malekith was doing fine and was like in a good place until he finally went home to deal with his... Like, he just didn't feel satisfied being in the old world anymore. And so he went home, and when he went home, Morathi eventually got her claws into him and convinced him that he deserved more. And he got greedy and arrogant. Charger Rhino, thanks so much for being here, dude. Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for being here. Okay, I answered that. Awohi, if possible, since I know this is a long story, can you explain Nagash's invasion of the Empire during Sigmar's lifetime, how he was resurrected, how he invaded? So Awohi, it's actually not super hard to simplify, but basically what happened was that so Nagash has the ability to essentially resurrect himself if he's given a long enough time to do so, which he almost always is. I mean, you can't really kill Nagash. It's exceedingly difficult to do so. But when it's been long enough, Nagash will inevitably come back. And when Nagash I'll just take the
I offer tribute willingly.
The big thing with Nagash is that because he always inevitably comes back, the big thing was that when he came back during Sigmar's lifetime, that was really the first time that Nagash had come back after, like, genuinely been back since his defeat at the hands of in Nehekara. So, like, Nagash had been close to achieving ultimate victory until he was ultimately killed by Alcatazar the Conqueror, which Alcatazar was basically like new Cetra, young Cetra.
I like the way.
He was Cetra, but he was young and hip. And when Nagash died, very, very few pieces of him escaped, and even those that did escape from destruction were scattered across the world. And so, we've got chaos coming down the mountainside. When Nagash eventually returned during Sigmar's time, that was the first time he had come back. So when he resurrects, I believe his body manifested in Nagashazar as opposed to the Black Pyramid. But when he comes back, the first thing he tried to do was get back to Nehekara and take over all of the dead that were hanging around there. But obviously that did not work out, because the Tomb Kings were very resistant to Nagash's magics and authority, And while he was able to bully some of them, eventually, as he was coming down south, like the Tomb King, Nagash was not subtle in his return, because he thought he could just dominate the Tomb Kings. And he found out very quickly that in the classic mess around and find out style, that not only could the Tomb Kings resist his control, but in the case of Cetra, he was dealing with enemies who could defeat him. He was dealing with these absurdly powerful champions he had never fought before, because Nagash was used to being like, you know, the kingpin, the top dog. And all of a sudden he goes up against Cetra the Imperishable and finds himself dealing with an enemy who is significantly stronger than him. Like, Cetra can't cast magic for shit, but Cetra is also virtually immune to magic. So he walks in there and all of a sudden is like, oh shit, who the hell is this guy? Well, like, Nagash knew who Cetra was, but Nagash had never encountered Cetra before.
What do you want?
As opposed to, Cetra had been waiting for Nagash. Like, Cetra knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that Nagash was going to come back, and he was just waiting for him. So when Nagash finally did pop up, Cetra was basically just like, I am about to ruin this man's career. And he did. They had what was known as the War of the Dead, where Nagash unleashed all of his more vampire count typical dead against Cetra's Tomb Kings, and Nagash got his ass kicked. So he got thrown out of Nehekara, and Cetra attempted to pursue him, but Nagash got away, and Nagash rationalized the situation as, okay, I'm losing this war, but the only reason I'm losing is because I'm not at my full power. I am significantly depleted. I don't have all of my artifacts. I need my artifacts. Once I have all of my treasures, I will be mighty again, and then I can properly deal with all of these threats. So Nagash basically kind of sends out his consciousness, and he locates the Crown of Nagash. Because the Crown of Nagash is by a massive margin the most powerful artifact that Nagash has. So he thinks to himself, okay, I must get my hands on my crown. I know vaguely where it is, so I'm going to go get it. And as a part of that, Nagash summons all of the nearest dead he can to him, and when he casts out that net, he captures a group of vampires. And he tells these vampires, "You work for me now, and we're gonna go get my crown back. And you can either agree and do what I tell you to, or you can disagree, and I will incinerate you from the inside out. No, your choice." This big ol' army, once again, Nagash is not subtle. So Nagash gathers this colossal army of the undead and starts marching north, and he encounters the southern borders of Sigmar's empire, and he just sees humans. You know, he just sees cannon fodder or bodies to be used in furtherance of his goal. So Nagash starts slaughtering his way across the empire, which of course pisses off Sigmar and all of his buddies. And Sigmar finds out very, very quickly who Nagash is, because Sigmar actually wore the Crown of Nagash for a while. Because Sigmar used it so that he could use sorcery, but Sigmar eventually found out that the Crown of Nagash was corrupting him, so he took it off and buried it. I think one of the vampires goes to Altdorf and basically says, like, hey,
You are privileged indeed to have the ear.
you know, you should give us the crown. Give us the Crown of
Relish the
Nagash,
chance to
and
look
we
upon.
will allow you to serve or to be, you know, like slaves in Nagash's new world, or you can refuse and we'll
What
kill you.
news? A noble and
And
worthy cause.
Sigmar flips Nagash the bird, and Nagash is like, alright, here I come. So Nagash comes charging down, But the thing is, Sigmar had worn the crown before, and Sigmar knew that if Nagash got the crown, it was going to be bad news for everybody. Like, Sigmar was intimately familiar with how powerful of a relic that thing was. So Sigmar basically called in every favor he had. So he summoned the dwarfs. He called up High King Kurgan Ironbeard and was like, hey, I'm about to be attacked by this guy called Nagash. And he's got a whole bunch of horrible undead things with him, and I need help. And he was like, we got you, bro. Because the dwarves are really serious about, you know, maintaining their, you know, their promises and stuff like that. And this was part of that. So the dwarves show up with, you know, Alaric the Mad's there, High King Kurgan Ironbeard's there. And the dwarves get particularly involved because they find out that Nagash actually made a pit stop on his way to Sigmar's empire, and Nagash resurrected Krell. Krell, who was one of the most hated champions of chaos ever from a dwarf perspective. So they basically find out that an opponent that they despise more than just about anything is on the warpath and heading right for them. And they're like, oh, bring it. Absolutely bring it. You know, we're gonna make sure that this Cetra asshole gets put down, or this Nagash asshole gets put down, and Krell goes with him. So Nagash continues his invasion. The Empire tries to stop him a few times. They get their asses kicked every single time. He causes some issues in the Dwarven realms. Oh, Malus Darkblaze leading siege to Kalador. That's very rude. And the war finally culminates in the Battle of the River Reich. And the Battle of the River Reich is basically 3 massive lines going up against each other. So you have, I think it was for Nagash's side, I think it was Archon the Black, Nagash, and then Krell were all kind of leading their own little contingents. And the vampires, I think, were with Archon or Nagash. I think they were with Nagash. And then the dwarfs were facing off against Krell. Nagash was facing off against Sigmar. And then there were some other, like, some of the other human tribes. And Sigmar's kiddos were actually facing off against...
demolish every inch.
We're facing off against the other side. But yeah, Krell was in the Great Book of Grudges many times. Krell killed a ton of dwarfs, and Krell was also responsible for the fall of... I don't remember which hold it was. It might have been Karak Vlag. Or... I don't remember which hold it was, but there's a dwarf hold that Krell was responsible for breaking. But Krell killed a ton of dwarfs. And Krell in life, like, his first death was because of a dwarf. It was actually a dwarven hero that killed Nagash, killed Krell the first time.
Princess of the Asur.
So the dwarves were not too fond of Nagash basically pulling a take-backsies on them having slain one of their most, like, hated ancestral enemies. Because Nagash is a damn bitch. He always has been. Nagash always plays dirty. This is not news to those who know him.
Brave and true.
I want you to go after that guy. Actually, wait, no, never mind, I lied.
Honorably done.
I want you to help the dwarves coordinate their assault. That's probably like one of the #1 ways that Nagash consistently pisses off other races, is by resurrecting, like, some massive war champion who was, you know, ultimately a war criminal that pissed off some other group. But, and then how did Sigmar beat him? Sigmar actually wore the crown of Nagash during the fight. So, because Sigmar knew that Nagash was a really powerful sorcerer, as Nagash was making his way towards them. So, Sigmar puts on the crown of Nagash to basically allow him to control magic and be able to try and counter Nagash's. And they have this big showdown where Nagash is unleashing all these terrible sorceries, and Sigmar is using the crown of Nagash to protect himself.
For you on the tip of my star line.
I hate the Celestial Storm. And it kind of keeps building and building, and they get into this big epic duel, and the way that the battle is finally settled is that basically Nagash starts getting the upper hand, because Nagash is just freaking ridiculous, and Sigmar, although very intelligent and very gifted and very powerful in his own right, is for the most part just a man. And so Sigmar pulls this kind of almost goofy strategy where he takes off the crown of Nagash, because he comes to the conclusion that he cannot use the crown to defeat Nagash. Kind of like you probably could not use the One Ring to defeat Sauron kind of situation. Though, you know, don't quote me on that. That might not be the best example. But, so he takes off the crown and basically throws it on the ground. And he makes like he's going to hit it with Galmaraz. But, like, in an attempt to deny it from Nagash's hands, which Nagash is ultimately like, oh shit, no! And is very much in the... Nagash goes for it. And as Nagash goes for the his crown, Sigmar turns Galmaraz and just brings it up and just hits him in the freaking face. Like he literally just smacks. He hits Nagash just right here with Galmaraz just at absolute full strength. And Nagash goes down hard. Like it just his body is just obliterated by that hit.
I wield the
and
winds.
thus is the end of old Bones. I mean, there's virtually nobody in Warhammer Fantasy that could take a hit from Galmaraz straight to the face. That is not a club that really anyone is a part of. So that ends up, and when Nagash dies, you know, it's the typical shenanigans of most of his army dissolves immediately. Some of his army is kept intact by Krell, and Krell leads a fighting retreat out, and Sigmar basically chases after him. So you end up having this epic chase scene that lasts for, I think it lasted for weeks, of Krell literally just tearing his way through the countryside of the Empire, and Krell retreats into the Middle Mountains, or not the Middle Mountains, the Grey Mountains, pursued by Sigmar and the dwarves, and Sigmar pursues him all the way down to the vaults, where on a certain icy lake, there's a final showdown where Krell is finally cornered by Sigmar. And Krell turns around and him and Sigmar have a one-on-one duel on this icy lake. And it's this gigantic battle, but in the end, Krell is cast down and killed by Sigmar. And the dwarves seal him up in a big old casket, and leave him there to try and bind him. And then I think later the dark powers end up messing with it, and then of course that's where Heinrich Kemmler finds Krell. Many years later. Which I will note, killing Krell is not like a casual thing. Krell is one of the spookiest sons of bitches in Warhammer Fantasy for good reason. His reputation is pretty
We
extreme.
bring order. Orders?
Hi, Kalita. I've come to help. I think this place is done now, right? Yeah, this is fully upgraded. Switch this to money.
We are ill at ease.
Mom's ill. How did I get into Warhammer Fantasy? My parents got me into it. Because when I was very little, they wanted me to have hobbies. And not, especially because they didn't just want me to, like, just play video games and not have anything to do. And so they wandered around, and one time when they were at the mall, they saw Games Workshop. And they were like, oh, that looks cool, and, like, something our son would probably like. And when they kind of learned about the game, they were like, oh, it's got, like, measuring and dice and lots of books and stuff, so, like, it would help with his reading and help with his, like, math skills and stuff, because I was only, like, 9 years old, 10 years old at the time. So, for my birthday that year, when I turned 10, my parents took me to Games Workshop, and I started, I got my first set of Lutherman minis, and I started playing the game, and fell in love with it, and the rest is history.
Reach grows yet.
Yeah, shut up.
Greatest of the dragon princes.
Alright, Imrick is almost to Ulthuan, which is perfect, because Ulthuan is being completely invaded, and we are getting our asses handed to us right now.
Asor sorcerer.
Hey, Magnus, what's up? Do I think the Dovahkiin could survive in the Warhammer world? Yeah, sure. I think the Dovahkiin would do okay. I mean, being able to use any sort of magic, which the Dovahkiin has the capability of magic,
Daggers in the dark.
if his powers even translate remotely okay, I think he would do very, very well for himself.
Asor princess. We lie in wait.
But and, like, you know, the Dovahkiin tends to be like a really good fighter, and having the soul, I don't know exactly how the soul of a dragon would translate, but it probably wouldn't be like a weak thing. He'd probably be fairly powerful in his own right. So yeah, I think he'd do just fine. Voidbear, thanks so much for redeeming that Ola Skinks, and welcome to the stream, dude. Thanks for being here. I'm really glad you could make it. Thank you. I hope Imrick can make it to defend Val's Anvil. What's my favorite unlikely team up? My favorite team up that is unlikely. Honestly, anything involving Thanquol. Thanquol has helped out the good guys. Honestly, more than he's helped out the bad guys. So I absolutely love that about Thanquol. I think he's hysterical. Because he just he just has an impressive habit of helping protect the world from Skaven that are a little bit more competent than he is.
A frail perversion, proud.
Ah.
It'll be no contest at all.
We're finally home,
will
chat.
never hold us.
Imrick has made it back to Ulthuan at long last. Time for a war. I think what we're gonna do with this army is maybe like, well, no, I mean, we're probably gonna go with a good amount of dragons. We could go with, like, none of the gods dedicate to anything I was really thinking with this army. We might go chariots with her. Try and pick up some more chariots. Or we could get her some more dragons and go a die-off. No, I kind of want to do a melee army for... Could do Kurnos and restructure our army for White Lions. You can make a pretty cool army themed around White Lions. Man, there's not a Phoenix option, and there's not a well, I wasn't really gonna do it. It sucks that there's nothing for Silverhelms or Lilian Reavers. It's actually a super big bummer. Chariots. Yeah. Chariots works fine.
I serve the Phoenix King. By the gods! To battle!
Yeah.
The Kadai watch over us. Treading lightly.
Alright, so we are pushing the Skaven back down south.
For the
We'll have the
wisdom of
dwarfs
land.
capture Granite Massif.
Give the word.
Pushing these vermin back one step at a time, chat. One step at a time. I think Thankful will probably be DLC, but we'll see. It depends on what they decide to do with him. If Thankful like comes out and they're like, oh yeah, we're going all in on like you know, he's gonna have like Storm Fiends and all this other crazy stuff, then they're absolutely gonna DLC him. If they're not gonna do Vermin Lords or any of the other stuff, which they absolutely should, but if they don't do it, then he'll probably just be FLC. How strong would the Undead be if they teamed up? Well, I mean, that happened at the end times, which is what the Undead Legions are, and they're pretty freaking strong. I mean, and they would actually be even stronger in like the Total War timeline because the Vampire Coast is like fully fleshed out. Yeah, I mean, if the Undead combined under one banner, they would be pretty obscene. They would be one of the most powerful empires, without a doubt. Oh, Rakarth is attacking us? I guess we should hold as best we can. Just to try and, like, because he's got basically nothing but basic troops, so we'll just try and fight him back as best as possible. I'm hoping Imrick can make it fast enough to us to take down Rakarth. Because I really want to get a Rakarth kill with Imrick. Rakarth with no beast? Well, I think the Dark Elf Empire is pretty much destroyed. I think the Dark Elves are basically just doing this big invasion of, like, they're doing this big invasion, but I don't think he actually has much in the way of an empire left. Which is why he's just recruiting, like, mass garbage. Okay, he's on Manticore, so he's not full... He doesn't have Breckus yet. He's not full strength.
Acknowledge.
Let's have the Lothern Sea Guard face off with Rakarth.
Without fail.
Gosh, everything's so spread out. Like, what in the world is happening here?
Illyrian archers.
Let's have our White Lions spread out so we can activate multiple towers. Actually,
It will be done.
we can put our
It
archers.
shall be done.
Well, no, that's probably
We will obey.
better to have them over here, actually.
Archers.
That does not get us. We're reaching this tower, but we're not. I don't think we can reach both of those.
Understood.
Spread you out.
Archers!
Put y'all up here.
Loven Seaguard!
Other White Lion unit.
White Lions!
Alright. Oh, I got one more tower I need to activate. Oh, I've got spearmen.
Spearmen.
And then we'll put the last unit of
For
spearmen.
duty. Noble ball.
Noble, you're gonna help deal with Rakarth. Open fire! I'm having towers. Doesn't matter though. I mean, that hurt it. Fortunately, didn't do much else outside of that. Keep firing! Keep firing!
Silver Helms.
Okay, once he's committed to climbing with the spears, we can send our silver helms out to try and like run some stuff down.
Orders received!
You
It
lot.
shall be done!
Go.
We will obey!
Silver Helms.
Understood!
As you say.
White
Understood.
Lions, form up!
Silver Helms.
Silver helms, let's boogie. What the hell? Where's that coming from?
Orders received.
We will obey!
Reavers!
Setting forward!
Wow, that was an absolutely brutal cast of that. Guess he must have it as a bound spell. Yeah, he does. Ugh.
Archers! Orders received!
Silver Helms. Noble.
Glory awaits! Illyrian archers!
Ancestors.
Into them! Into them!
Battle calls! Illyrian archers! Illyrian archers! Apace! Without fail! It shall be done!
Ugh, I hate Black Art Corsairs so much.
Silver Helms. We advance. Battle calls.
Fresh charge!
Acknowledged. Loyal.
Acknowledged!
Northern Seaguard.
Push them
Awaiting
back!
orders.
Push them back!
Spearmen. Understood.
Hold the gate! Hold the gate!
For
Cars
duty!
on the walls.
For duty!
Run away!
As you say. Draw back. For of.
Loyal! Loyal! White Lions! For Ulthuan!
Forward!
Loyal.
Without fail!
It shall be done. Deploy. Spearmen.
Loven Seaguard! Without fail! As you say!
White Lions. Northern Seaguard.
For Ulthuan!
Spearmen, come on, over here.
For Ulthuan.
Order must be maintained! White Lions!
Without
Okay, here come the buffs.
Attack!
It will be done.
Pull back! We will obey.
It shall be done.
Kill them!
Yeah, Fang's out. Yeah, pretty much.
Northern Seagull!
It has failed us.
Noble!
Nagash rises!
Well, we're definitely going to lose the city, but we did deal a pretty significant amount of damage.
Archers.
We're not letting him take it without a fight, so that's good at least.
Spearmen, acknowledge.
Northern Seagull!
He will take the city, but we'll make him pay for every bloody inch.
Vengeance! Wondrous slaughter! For duty, we will obey. The Widowmaker!
We're under fire.
Retribution!
By the way, just kind of a quick heads up, we will be getting back to The Witcher tomorrow morning. This morning, I wasn't able to stream earlier today because, like I said, we had a construction crew coming in to destroy our old stone patio and rip it out of the ground. So I kind of had to be present to deal with that. But we will be back with The Witcher tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Just a heads up for anyone that wants to be here for that. Of course, I have been uploading all of our sessions on the secondary channel. So if you've missed any of the prior Witcher streams, you can always just type in !VOD and it'll show you my secondary YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. Please do. Where you can see all of the prior games we've played. I think so far on that channel we've uploaded our playthrough of Hades, Omori, and some other jazz. How's D&D going? Okay. Oh gosh, he is coming in hard with a actual army. Malice Darkblade trying to get some brownie points. Oh geez, chat. Oh geez, chat. They're coming. They're coming. Okay, let's give armor piercing to the Silvering Guard. -8 leadership to flying enemies for my wizard. And let's give base fire damage to our archers. Oh boy. Do I the very first time I played Total War Warhammer? If I do, it's on my main YouTube channel, and it was uploaded a long time ago. I have no idea. I have no idea. That was so many years ago. I wish I did. I don't think I do, but I wish I did. That would have been a cool thing to have up. I'm pretty sure I have my first games of Warhammer 2 up somewhere. But yeah, D&D's going okay. Last week we weren't able to have any sessions. I was feeling really unwell on Thursday, so I couldn't do a session then. And also, yeah, I wasn't feeling good on Thursday. So, and that session ended up being canceled because the people that were going to be there weren't able to be there until very, very late. And then, let's see, our Friday group, our Friday group, which is Soulbound, I don't think, yeah, Eerie, yeah, I know it is.
Loremaster.
That was, it is my first video, which is really funny. That just happened to be the question I was working on when I made my YouTube channel, because I was running the forums at the time, and that just happened to be the question I was working on. Listen, if you don't think that I'm a horny degenerate, you just don't know anything about me. I keep my horniness at publicly acceptable levels in public. That's it. That's as far as that goes. What was I saying before I got distracted?
We will obey.
Oh, but yeah, I think our Friday stuff, which is Soulbound, I think we're coming to an end. Like, not as far as like we're not like I think I'm probably going to be stepping out of that campaign pretty soon. Because as much as I enjoy that campaign, it just seems to be really, really hard for that group to meet. And I've been giving like Friday nights to that, and Friday night is like prime time for streaming. I would much rather be streaming. So I think that's something I'm gonna have to probably do, is step out of that campaign so I can spend more time streaming, especially on Friday nights, because I want to be streaming Friday nights. Friday nights are just super great time. Like, Friday nights are the perfect time to, especially for stuff like that's like just really fun and enjoyable to watch. So
White lions.
as unfortunate as that is.
For duty.
And then I have one other D&D campaign, but we haven't played in like months. And I'm getting pretty tired of waiting. So I think I'm just gonna start basically count that one as being done.
As you say.
But I mean, things are going well though. I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining or something. I really enjoyed a lot of those campaigns, and I'm really hoping to get into some more campaigns at some point. I'll tell you what, my dream, like one of my personal dreams right now, is to get to be in a Arcadum campaign. Like, that's one of my goals in 2022, or maybe even late 2021, is that I want to be in a Arcadum D&D campaign on his Twitch channel. I would love that so much. But I think I have to become a bigger hotshot before I will be accepted into such a group. I'm not a cool kid yet. No, I'm not tired of D&D. I love D&D. I'm tired of the groups that I'm in, would be a better way to say it. Because we just can't meet on a frequent schedule at all. And that's exhausting. Because, like, I'm having to set aside time in my schedule for something that ends up not happening. Because I don't have a mullet. I was gonna say it's because I'm not a VTuber. You gotta be like a VTuber to get into the cool kids club these days. I've been working on a VTuber design, but I don't think it'll ever, even when I finish it, I don't think it'll ever be one of those things that's like, yes, Loremaster of Sotek is this character. Like, I don't think I would ever reveal who I am behind that. It's just kind of a weird thing. Like, it seems like that's kind of a no-no in VTuber culture, to, like, reveal who you actually are. Gotta hide your secret identity, yeah. Because I personally, I don't mind the idea of it, but like, I think for a lot of people, they prefer the character when they don't know the true identity of the person behind it. Because if you know the true identity of the person behind it, like, yeah, maybe it makes it harder to see the character for who the character is. You know, and I don't want that to be the case. You know, I want to be able to just, like, the character that I'm creating, to be able to just, like, fully be in that role and have a lot of fun with it. And if I have to worry about, like, people disliking me or something because of who I am in real life, that would be kind of a bummer. Miko shows herself all the time. Yes, but, and I don't say this in like a nerd way, but like in like a genuine thing. A lot of VTubing right now is very. VTubing is very, very, very. I have found difficult, or from what my research has suggested, as I've been looking more and more into the group, is very difficult for men. Male VTubers are very, very rare in comparison to women. And it's a very male-dominated field, women-dominated field. So if you're a guy, you kind of have to follow different rules, because like, and I'm trying really careful to make sure that it's understood that I'm not saying that like, oh, these women are only successful because they're hot. Like, no, it's not the case. You know, all of them legit produce amazing content, and work really, really hard, and like have these crazy schedules and do a lot of really hardcore stuff to fight for their ability to be like relevant in a medium that is very difficult to stay relevant in. But I have found that for men, or just VTubing in general, the power of horniness is a thing. The power of horniness is absolutely a thing. It is not a myth. There is a lot that goes into crafting an identity for VTubing, and a lot of it relies on trying to advertise yourself as like an attractive ideal or personality. And if you can't do that, it comes with a lot of downsides. And I think, as unfortunate as it is to feel this way, I feel that the character that I want to create, because I know exactly what I want to do. I just need to have the money to set aside to start it all. I feel like his design would be lessened being attached to me. I feel like people would be less interested in him knowing that I'm the face behind the camera, I guess.
The winds blow through me.
Which, you know, isn't necessarily a great feeling, but it's an honest feeling.
Observe my radiance. It is destiny.
It's not an uwu character. Just to be clear, it's not an uwu character.
As predicted.
Doing an uwu voice isn't that hard, though. You just throw it up into your falsetto, and you're just the whole thing of like, uwu. I want those fuzzy wuzzies. Like, you just throw it up there, and it becomes horrifying very quickly. Very quickly. Especially when you start throwing W's everywhere. That's the real power, is the W. Flip it.
Magic.
Do it, you cowards.
Mage ready.
You know what? You kind of have a point, though. I could go for more of a comfy design, I think. I don't know, maybe that's more of like the way my anxiety feels about it. Maybe it's more of my anxieties telling me that I can't have it tied to me as a person. I don't know, I'll have to think about it. Well, Malice got absolutely annihilated, so that's good. What would it look like? So my idea, and because, I don't know, like, I kind of think it'd be kind of cool to be able to share the experience with you guys as well. To be able to, like, create it bit by bit with chat. Not necessarily for y'all's input, though your input may be appreciated on certain ideas, but more of, like, just allowing people to see the experience and kind of, like, going through it. I just worry about
Unworthy of life.
I mean, you know, just like to be frank, like my anxiety does haunt me a bit. Of like the idea of like people like hating or being like grossed out by like me, the person, and like hating a character because of that. I would say that's a unique fear I have to that particular idea of like feeling like I can't play a character because of
Can I offer assistance?
the person
For the
behind
Phoenix
it,
King.
you know?
Ready to attack.
Like, I'd hate the idea of someone like Googling like, oh, I like this character, I like this VTuber, and then them like Googling to know who it is,
Of high magic.
and then like finding out it's me behind it, and then being like, oh, ugh. Which is funny because when it's just me, like coming to a stream and being like, oh, who's Loremaster Sotek, and finding me, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Someone could come in here and like be like, oh, you know, what a fat soy boy piece of shit neckbeard, blah, 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 and I would just find it legitimately funny. Like I've got skin of steel, because like I just don't give a fuck.
Ulthuan princess.
Maybe I am just being... Maybe I am just being... letting a really silly what if
I see the winds.
haunt me. That's just not a realistic threat, you know? What's the design? Let me. So okay, let me tell you all the design. Okay. Bangs out. Yeah, I guess that's a way to put it. I don't think it's necessarily harm as much as I wouldn't want someone to like. I wouldn't want someone to like see the character and be like, wow, that guy's like super cringe because of the way he plays that character. Because I would be playing, you know, when I think for VTubing, a lot of the fun is that you're playing a character, you know? It's not just you, but behind a digital avatar. Some people do that, but that, you know, I don't think for me that would be the point of the experience. I think for me the fun would be playing a character. Kind of like, you know, you're just doing a D&D session, but it's just you with chat.
Relish this chance to look upon your better.
Like, kind of like how, you know, like I did like the Loremaster character for the Monstrous Arcanum series. I had a ton of fun with that. Like, a not insignificant amount of people hated it, but I just didn't really give a shit if they hated it because I had fun.
You may approach.
You know, it was for me.
If you will it.
Not for
Onward.
for, you know, anybody else, and I had a really good time with it. Well, I would say that Haruka and Girl DM do absolutely play characters. They do not play characters to the extent that like other VTubers do. Like they're not like like they're open. Like Girl DM is very open about like the software and like, you know, some of the pains of VTubing and a couple other various things. But I would not say that she... Like, you don't know who she is, right? Like, nobody knows what Girl DM's face looks like. Nobody knows, like, her real name or she has shown up on like kind of a podcast scenario where I've seen everything but her face, because she because she was wearing a mask, and the camera was specifically aimed so that you couldn't see her face, and she's very small. She's very small. She's like 5 foot nothing, but so and that's kind of the thing, right? Is that I have this kind of situation where a lot of YouTubers don't reveal themselves, don't reveal their faces, because they value their privacy, but for a lot of people it's also a business decision. You know, I don't know if y'all have ever seen, there's a streamer YouTuber guy called Corpse Husband, I think. And like, there's an interview that's really interesting about him where he has this whole thing where he like will never show his face. And for him, it's the idea that like, for him, it's like the idea that he doesn't, like, because people associate his voice with his content, he doesn't want them to see him, because whatever they're imagining him to look like is probably not going to be what he looks like, and it's going to leave people, like, disappointed. Which I think for him especially is a very realistic fear, especially because his voice is, like, so mind-bendingly deep that for a lot of women he's kind of this, you know, he's very heavily sexualized as a voice. And like, you know, he has this character that if you Google, like, you see the character's art, and he probably looks nothing like that. You know, he's probably just a normal dude. But for a lot of people, that would be a disappointment because they want to connect with the character, right? So I guess that's where the fear comes from for me. Is like, would it be a bad thing for me? Sorry, yes. Well, his voice is just buttery. Like, he literally is just the I can't believe it's not butter of voices. Which, considering how, like, freaking packed the internet is with audio content, it is difficult to stand out in today's audio world. But he does it. He does it well. Yeah, he does. Like, I find him a very interesting, very, very interesting person to listen to. Dragon Princes, let's go kick ass! With me! Oh, I'm so glad Imrick's army is here, dudes. We can finally just go absolutely ham on all this garbage. Who is leading this little ragtag band?
They die! Prince Imrick!
Ah, there he is. It's Malus Darkblade.
Death and glory!
Here, Malus.
Awaiting orders.
I'll give to each other. Malus. Dragons, go. Down the dragon horn! Archers, move up! Nerds.
A glorious challenge! Calador's fury! Noble! Understood!
When I'm in the Darkblade in the end times, Morathi tricked him and ended up empowering the demon inside of him, and he dies. because he gets turned into his demon form against his will. So the demon takes over, and then while the demon is in control, he fights Tyrion, and Tyrion just absolutely bodies him. Like, it's not even a contest. He dies pretty fast in the end times. Malice Darkblade literally dies in one of the opening battles of the Ulthuan conflict. Bert, that's a very amusing statement to me. B, I think you're very correct on that. There's a lot of complicated feelings with it. I don't know. I think y'all have a point. I really do think I do just maybe need to own it. Because, like, I guess if I go into it with a much, like, clearer head, so to speak, of, like, just walking in, owning it without any, like, real... just not letting my fears kind of dictate the situation, then probably really don't have all that much to worry about.
Prince Imrick!
Because, like, if the character's attached to me, then that's, like, an easy identity to... I don't know, that's my usual thing, you know?
Prince Imrick! The dragon's roar!
Is Zarkan a demon of Tzeentch? Zarkan was revealed to be a demon of Slaanesh. Though he definitely comes off as very Tzeentchian in his original design. I honestly think he was supposed to be a demon of Tzeentch, but like some weird stuff happened. You know how it goes. Ooh, that fireball.
Slay them! Blessed by all!
Loremaster Warhammer, have a good night, dude.
And Louis, Orion, and Louis! Going abroad! Saigon, hear me! High mage!
You gonna land?
Phoenix Sun!
That went the wrong way. Alright. Beated Malice Darkblade. Excuse me for just a sec, guys. I gotta close the door. Ugh. I love Chloe, but that dog's got no manners. So, I will tell y'all, though, my design, if y'all are curious, I mean, I'd be happy to share what I have so far. So, like, the idea, right, is that you don't want to make something that's, like, that's been done before. That's no fun. You don't want to be something that's, like, super duper common. At least I don't. You know, I really enjoy, have I spoken with the animation guy? I have, but I haven't, like, had a full back and forth. I've basically done the equivalent to saying, hey, what's up? And he was like, hey, what's up? And that was, like, as far as it got. Collab? I don't know what we would collab on. Maybe something. I'd have to come up with something, though. What was the thing? Oh, and the other thing is that I wouldn't want it tied to a Warhammer identity. you know,
Princess of the Azure.
if I'm gonna make like a VTuber form, it's not just gonna be a freaking I'm not just gonna come out and be like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna be a lizardman VTuber or anything Warhammer related, because with everything going on with Games Workshop right now, coming out and making like an original character, so to speak, that is based on the Warhammer IP is a damn fool's errand. Damn fool's errand. I would not recommend anyone doing that right now. Like, if you already have a Warhammer identity, then, you know, you kind of already, like, made your bed, and I don't think there's anything in the immediate future you need to worry about. But for anyone that's, like, new, I would heavily not recommend doing that, you know, because like we just don't know to what extent Games Workshop is gonna be lashing out at people. Hopefully they won't be lashing out at anyone, and it'll be like super simple dealing with them, but you know, it's impossible to tell.
Purest sorcery. Azure sorcerer.
Ricard! Oh my god, chat, we made it. We made it, chat. We finally get to have our showdown. Get out of my way.
I'll win. I always do.
Out of my way, harlot. We're actually going to get to fight him. But, so, with that in mind, you know, I don't want the character tied to a Warhammer identity. I do, obviously, want him to have, like, Warhammer themes. So, like, there to be things about him that if you know Warhammer, you're like, oh, I know what that's a reference to. But not something that someone walks in, they're like, oh, it's a Warhammer VTuber. But my idea is to do a... instead of doing, like, just a classic dragon VTuber, right? Or, because, you know, dragons are very, very popular. Or, lizard-like. I was like, what is a specific niche I could do that, to my knowledge, has not been done yet? And I got it. A winged serpent. But, you know, like, kind of anime-ified. So you have a human that has... No, I would bet money there's an axolotl VTuber already. I would bet significant money that's already a thing. But a winged serpent. Yes, similar to a quaddle, but, you know, no beak. But having a humanoid that has, like, big wings, kind of almost like the Morathi model. So, like, those really giant bat-like wings. I was actually talking to a guy who can kind of rig VTuber models, and I was like, how hard can we push wing technology? Because if I'm gonna have wings, I want to have big wings. I don't want little bitch wings like every VTuber that I've ever seen with wings have. Where, like, they have wings, but they're like vestigial wings. You know, they're like this big, and they don't look like they could lift like a chihuahua off the ground, much less a full person. It's like, no, I want those big ass wings, like the kind that you could, like, if the entity wanted to, it could easily, like, wrap up its own entire body in kind of wings, like man wings. And wouldn't you be covering half the screen? Well, the clever part would be that there, you know, in your VTuber lore, you have a way where you hide the wings. You know, whether, like, it's that the wings can go invisible, or they can be, like, absorbed into the body, or maybe they just make, like, a backdrop where your character is. But, like, when your character is alone on the screen, because the thing about VTubers, in my experience, and, like, the kind of thing that I really enjoy when I'm watching VTubers is when they're just kind of, like, hanging out, right? Can turn into cape, yeah, something like that. Axolotls take it. I told you, dude, axolotls are too adorable. And they're also just a little too common in, like, the cultural zeitgeist right now, for those to already not have been taken. But the thing I like about a winged serpent idea is that it allows me to pull from a lot of that kind of Sotek ideology while still maintaining that, oh, no, I'm not, I'm not taking from Games Workshop. I'm not a Warhammer VTuber. I'm a Quetzalcoatl VTuber or something like that. The other thing I thought would be fun is that, so like the motifs that I would be aiming for, because like the ideas that I find the most fun are like probably some of my favorite concepts are concepts like the 7 deadly sins, you know, obviously the lizard men, or like just Warhammer related. Wow, he is getting absolutely bodied up here.
Glory of Imrick! Dragon princes!
Dragons, forward! Get fudged! So you have this. So I have this idea of like. So you have this winged serpent, right? But instead of just being a winged serpent, it's a serpent of sin, right? It's not only a winged serpent in the sense that it references Quetzalcoatl and Sotek and the portals and all that, but it also references the 7 deadly sin, the serpent in the garden. You know, that kind of almost a satanic imagery, but taken in like a more wholesome comedy direction. Though, you know, you want to have a little bit of edge. You want to have a little bit of edge. So you have this kind of like looking at different serpents from across mythology, whether you're dealing with Jormungandr, the World Serpent, Quetzalcoatl, Satan iconography, and trying to come up with like a really fun mix of those ideas. Where like I love the idea of like there being a character who represents like the 7 deadly sins, but instead of him being like necessarily this super edgy like evil thing, he's like the idea of someone that like realizes that your sins don't define you, and there are like fun and healthy ways to indulge in sin. And so he's like here to, like, you expect something super evil and terrifying, and it's just this guy that's like, hey, what's up? Like, you're into that? That's cool. Have you tried like taking like the idea of gluttony into you know, being funny and wholesome. The same thing with lust and pride. No, not a frat boy. not a frat boy. But as far as design, I know the biggest callback, or like call I want to have to Warhammer is I want him to have an arm like Kroq-Gar's, except for different enough so, you know, it's not a direct copy. So like he has 5 fingers instead of 4, and it's made out of like obsidian instead of gold, and has like slightly different design system. So probably like where Kroq-Gar's is much more of like Kroq-Gar has more like sharp angles, probably a little more rounded appendage of the deities. But you know, but it would still be like identifiably, if you know the hand of the gods, you'd be like, oh shit, that's the hand of the gods. In the sense that it'd be like, oh, it can shoot lasers or like cast off light, and it's like a powerful artifact and all this stuff. And like the character would have very cheeky references to Warhammer stuff, not outright. So like instead of saying the old ones, he would probably say like the ancient ones. Or instead of saying
Master of high
like Slon or something, he would just like refer to things by titles that are not copyright protected.
I see the winds.
But that's kind of like the general idea behind it. To try and like create a character that has enough edge that you can make edgy art. You can have a character that can indulge in like making jokes about evil laughter and being a villain, because I love villains. I love villains far more than I love heroes. But I also prefer villains that are not just pure evil, but it's more like they're so immensely self-involved or borderline selfish that, like, yeah, they're evil, but only in the sense that they don't cave to, like, normal conventions, not because they're, like, running around burning orphanages down. Like, a character that's greedy in the sense that he wants... Or a character that's, like, lust in the sense that he wants everyone, but only with their consent. Or a character that's greedy in that he wants to hoard all there is, but make sure people are still taken care of. You know, a character that's
Master of
very
high magic.
prideful, but isn't a dick about it. You know, stuff like he's prideful because he knows he's all that, but he doesn't rub it in your face. You know, trying to take that idea of, like, deadly sins and kind of turn it on its head. The arch enemy of Garkura. But that's kind of the idea I've been working on. Gashnag the Black Prince, but sexy? Yeah, something like that.
The Asur need.
Ooh, Malekith's on the island. I repeat, Malekith is on the island. But I want him to have a big tail, big wings, big muscles. Pretty much Lucifer. Certainly some similarities, but not a fallen angel. Sounds like a lot of oxymorons, yes, and I'm okay with that. I've always liked the oxymoron idea of, like, a character who's supposed to represent all of these great, terrible, evil things, but, like, when you actually get to know them, realize that all of that's just complete bullshit. It's just, like, completely overblown. And it's like, this guy's not a threat. Yugal, it would be more the first option. Like, I kind of like, you know, the anime boy protagonist idea of, like, they're mostly human, but with bestial features.
In defense of
An
Ulthuan.
uwu voice? Of course, yes, absolutely, the uwu voice. I've been working on a voice. I've been working on a voice, in my personal time. It would be similar to the Loremaster voice from the last October's series, but not nearly as dramatic. Yeah, kind of like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is a good like ballpark. Not quite as pretty boy as Final Fantasy. A little bit more edgy. Final Fantasy is a little cutesy for my taste. That's kind of what I've been working on. Biggest thing right now, the thing I'm waiting for right now is when I get my kind of like my paychecks for September. I want to set aside a good bit of money to be spent just on getting art made for it. The real question I've been thinking of is, do y'all think I could get away with him calling his... Because, like, I want him to have the ideology of that he was spawned. So he wasn't born, he was spawned. Like, he just came out perfect. He's always been perfect. And that kind of, like, feeds into a little bit of that ego idea. Of that he's like a lizard man in that sense, right? Like, he was spawned, he wasn't born. He didn't grow, he simply has just been. He's always been. And kind of exploring the amusing angles of that idea. Where you have this character that's functionally, like, maybe they, you know, is an ancient character, but like skipped out on a lot of those more painful moments in life or annoying moments in life where you're dealing with like having to become an adult and all that stuff.
Wield the winds.
And exploring how that can be fun and
Master of
amusing.
high magic.
Calador wakes. The Star Lance strikes. I'll win.
Because I think I want him to call. I have to look up if it's a
Join
common phrase used by any other VTubers. But I think calling the community spawnlings would be would be fun. I like the term spawnlings. Like it's that halfway point of like adorable sounding, but also almost a little gross sounding.
What do you require?
Princess of the Azure.
But that's what I've been working on.
Rats make poor foemen. The enemy must be punished.
It shall be done.
Ooh, I would much rather ambush this army.
Now is not the time. Protector of
Can I like
Ulthuan.
find like a patch of jungle? Desert. Desert. Oh, this is all desert. Oh god, it's all desert. Well, I mean, he didn't see us earlier over here, so...
Ready to attack.
Who's my favorite VTuber? Ooh, boy. My favorites right now... See, it kind of like comes and goes. Like, some people rise and fall.
You may look upon me.
I would say my favorite right now is probably... I mean, I still absolutely adore Nanners. I don't watch her as much anymore. But, like, she's still just absolutely hysterical. And is not, like, it's just amazing to watch. I really like Mem. Mem's is fairly new on the scene. Like, Mem only just did their debut stream, like, less than 2 weeks ago. Really, really, really like Mem. Takahata's pretty hilarious. Oh, geez, I think we have to do this. Girl DM is great. Girl DM is a very, very talented streamer. Girl DM is like a freaking tech wizard compared to... You know, actually, probably in my top 3 is Pikami. Pikami is a YouTube VTuber, not a Twitch VTuber. Pikami is hysterical. I can, like, there's no other word to describe her than just genuinely hysterical.
Serve the king.
She is probably one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life.
Eagle claw.
And her ability to transition between English and Japanese just constantly is awe-inspiring. Though, I will note, probably my favorite thing about her that is so damn funny is that Pikami, like, her English is, like, 90% great. Like 95%. But when she swears, like, when Pikami's either panicking because she's scared or she's yelling because she's pissed off, perfect English. Like, just her accent completely goes away and her English is just flawless. It's like this magic button when she's panicking or angry, where it's just like, ooh, just incredible, like, diction and everything. that I just find so damn funny. But I watch a lot of Pikimi. Even on my free time. She's phenomenal.
It will be done.
Yeah, that would be my list right now, I think.
Moving out.
Hey, Sammy, how's it going? Love those girl DM emotes. She has great emotes.
For order.
We go.
Oh god, everybody run! Everybody run!
Fire Ariel.
Serve the king.
Illyrian archers. Oriol.
Archers, let's mow down those rattling guns.
Understood.
Oh, this I can already tell this is gonna get ugly.
Silver helms. It will be done.
It will be done.
Charge!
Asa, attack! Yes.
Loyal. Without fail.
Princess of Ulthuan. By your will. My power is yours.
Come on, wizard, let's go! Ah! I'm looking for... Oh, that's a critical hit. Dude, listen, the only reason I do not consider myself a full-on weeb is because I'm really, really bad about, like, sitting down and committing myself to watching, like, an anime just because I just don't have the time. Not because, but, like, I love watching anime when I am able to make the time for it. Absolutely adore it. Like, it's so fun to watch. It's so entertaining. There's so many good shows that it's just ridiculous. I don't even know how anybody keeps up with anything. Oh shit.
Mage.
Kill Queek!
The grave.
Kill Queek!
Shall be done. For duty.
By Alario. For duty. Pull back.
What are you doing? Use it! Oh my... Oh, God. Oh, I forget. He has the shitty ice breath. That's right. I forgot about that.
Ulthuan mage. Making my way.
Storm Riders.
Where's my princess? She's
of
over here.
Ulthuan.
Advance. Loyal.
Lakoi. For Ulthuan.
Silver helms. Had I been brave.
Mage. Seeking the
Oh, that's
sword.
not good.
Heralds of the wind. For our ancestors.
Lakoi. Lakoi.
Asa forward. Without fail. Apace. For order.
Phoenix, get out of there! Dragon, get out of there! Up! Dodge this, you little shits.
Princess of Ulthuan.
Gotta take that thing down!
Illyrian archers.
Oh, run away, run away!
Setting forth.
To me! To me!
Asa mage.
Oh god,
Going abroad.
get away from me! Ah! Fall back!
Apua. Bend to my
Here,
will.
quick head taker.
Illyrian archers.
Bro, just keep running.
Noble lady.
Bring him down with a bow.
For duty.
Together! god, he has to actually have an operational catapult. Look at that.
As you say, acknowledged. Can I be
Alright, we got a catapult to kill. Let's boogie.
To the fray! Draw back! To the fray!
Alright, Greek head taker is dead. Praise be.
Understood.
Alright, Hammond, have a great night, dude. Thanks so much for coming by.
Daughter of Ulthuan.
Yes, thanks. Yes, I have seen that. Pikmi, I forget what her friend's name is.
As you say.
Dude, I watched the, I'd never seen it before yesterday. I watched yesterday the thing of Pikmi playing the Winnie the Pooh game, where like she's talking about how like the game's like really easy and it's like for kids and stuff, and then she gets to like the Tigger level. Yeah, Tomoshika, yeah. And then she gets to the Tigger level, and the Tigger level is just like nightmarishly hard. And Pikmi's just like losing her shit because it's so difficult. Oh my god, that thing is so funny. You like the Arcane Phoenix's art redesign? Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's literally just the Arcane Phoenix page from the Monstrous Arcanum. Ooh, that was a good one. Angry tea kettle noises. Yeah.
Defender of Ulthuan. It shall be. Princess of Ulthuan. Princess.
Seal! It shall be done!
Attack!
Run them down. Well, we won. Definitely wasn't easy. The Heralds of the Wind still alive? They are.
Heralds of the wind!
Oh, they're fast. Get your asses over here.
Without question! Assyrian winning!
What about y'all? Who do y'all like watching? I mean, there's so many good VTubers, dude. Like, most of Hololive EN, or no, pretty much all of Hololive EN, and Shoujo are all super duper great. Very, very entertaining people to watch.
Nakoi! Battle calls! Forward! Asa! Attack!
Me? Oh, thanks. No. I don't think I count as a VTuber. I am just a tuber. But thanks, appreciate that. Gura, Ame, Pikami. Yeah, Pekara. Dude, like, it's weird watching Hololive EN sometimes, and how, like, you know, they're not by any means PG. Like, they tend to go a little off the rails sometimes, but they try. Like, they genuinely try to stay in, like, that kind of that PG lane. Whenever I watch, like, the Japanese Hololive, my god, dude, they're just, like, completely off the rails. Doing shit that I feel like you would never see the English ones do. Which is so funny, but also kind of such a shame. Yeah, Maximilian Dude's a really cool streamer. I really enjoyed watching his, I always watch his reactions to, like, new fighter announcements for Smash, because his reactions are usually really good. But I also really enjoy his Resident Evil playthroughs. Maximilian Dude's a really good guy. They are say-so. There are very few streamers that are say-so. I think you could fit them on one hand. They're so rare. Oh, the Heralds of Ariel are dead. That's unfortunate.
We are the guardians of order.
Actually, we don't need food and other stuff.
Master of high magic.
You need to go back. Is you
Bring
need to get
me my
sword masters. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'm cool with 5 sword masters, but I would like another sister Babylon. Rye. Yeah, I'd like to have something kind of operational. Hopefully by the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see how things play out.
Lady of the Phoenix Court.
VTuber crap's
Garrisoning.
expensive.
Protector of Ulthuan.
What do you require?
Stuff ain't cheap.
Order must be maintained.
Also, learning about it feels like I'm studying freaking witchcraft and wizardry sometimes. Feels like such a bizarre alien system.
The Assa are troubled.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are troubled. Nice. Carrickzorn is the last settlement that the Skaven have on within the mountains, and then it's just pushing them back through the jungles. Oh, we need to get you a war.
Hush! When I sit on my throne, you can begin.
Join me.
My will.
Nice. A giant snake VTuber? Well, I think I would probably make like a giant snake form, but I wouldn't not want to be a beast VTuber. Those do exist. There actually is a snake VTuber. I know of a snake VTuber. I think it's a she, but there is absolutely a VTuber who's literally just a snake. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Oh, we're finally gonna get to take down the Witch King. And he's got us heavily outnumbered. But we are superior. Need to pay my health insurance before I go to bed. Actually due here soon. I think it's almost the 1st of the month.
The Dragon Tamer.
Oh, Malekith, I am going to absolutely smash your face in.
Ulthuan mage.
It's gonna feel good. Reject humanity, return to Snick. Dragon Princess! With me!
Lawyer. Dragon Princess.
It shall be done. Spearman.
I need to go to Calador after this fight
Yes.
and upgrade my army so that it's just Dragon Princes and Dragons.
Noble.
Probably should also switch our noble to back to being on a steed. That way he's leading the Dragon Princes, but you know, we'll get around to it.
The Crown Prince ascend. Phoenix son. We will obey. Without fail. To battle. Absolutely.
Let's go straight for Malekith.
Men Louis! Araya Men Louis!
So it begins. The great battle of our time.
We go.
Ulthuan mage.
And Malekith's already done. Get wrecked. dare bring a dragon to a fight against me? Down he goes! No more Witch King.
The Knights of Caledor!
Oh, chain magic. Chain lightning hurts.
Tyson, hear me! Attack!
Wipe them out! You got a suggestion for a rival for Imrick? I think we already killed our rival, but come on. We shall hear your proposal.
Dragon Princess!
Hey, Spider Patches! Good to see you, dude. How you been?
Lakoi Soraya! Winds of magic rise!
Making my way.
Can I be traced?
Setting forth.
Yeah, you ain't going nowhere, son.
Bend to my will!
Imrick!
Dragon Prince! Glory be! I seek glory! Slay them!
Down the dragon horn!
Light of the volcano! The dragon's roar!
Ulthuan mage.
Tyson, hear me!
Ulthuan mage.
It will be done!
Tawar! Lakoi Soraya!
Dragon Princess!
Into them!
To the fray! Dragon Princess!
Utterly
Mage.
obliterated.
Winds of magic rise!
Blessed by war!
Ulthuan mage.
Ephua, bend to my will! Menlui! Araya Menlui!
I go then.
This is madness! Scython, hear
Sucks to
me!
be her.
The glory of Imrick!
Pop all the buffs!
Behold, the majestic!
Krokkar would never back down from Imrick. I mean, you're right, but I wouldn't consider. I don't know. I don't think I'd consider them rivals, though. They just don't. They don't stand opposed enough on any like kind of noticeable character spectrum, other than they're both just like big monster dudes. Both have big boys. Charger right.
Prince Imrick.
Do you mean like the Naruto character? There you go. I was like, why is she dying? Sevatiel, is creating a Witcher possible in fantasy, or at least something close to it, and would it serve the Order races, and how do you think Geralt would do in fantasy? Would he be in any danger to live just fine? Would he compare to elven sword fighters in skill, or is he too human? I think that I think Geralt would do just fine in the Warhammer Fantasy universe. There are characters that are not terribly dissimilar to him. I think because of his eyes, however, he would not be able to live in the Empire without just being like constantly harassed as a mutant and like being pursued by witch hunters and stuff. Because like witchers seem to at least have the ability to not just be like constantly killed on sight by every single authority they meet, whereas in the Warhammer world, they would be seen as chaos mutants. Like anybody in the Empire would try to hunt them down. But if he lived like in Astalia or Tilia, I think he'd do fine for himself. But could you make something like The Witcher? Probably. I don't know all of the specifics behind the ritual that creates the Witchers. I'm assuming the game will explain it at some point. But the whole like Witchers are still a fairly mysterious thing to me, personally. I'm not really like super understanding of exactly like what they are and what the deets there are. Hopefully that's something that will be revealed by the game as we continue to play. Like it's definitely something that
nothing stands in my way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to kind of like learn all the specifics and stuff.
I'll win. I always do. Dragon Rider.
Yeah, I may watch some playthroughs of the first
Onward
game
for Calador.
just to get a little bit more of a idea of everything, because it doesn't seem like it's necessarily required. Oh, critical failure. That's a bummer. But it does seem like immensely helpful to understand like what the hell is going on, to have the first game for reference. Max level Fortress of Vorag, hooray!
Assyria guides are.
God, I hate these guys. How's the Chaos Invasion going? That looks like it's pretty much over. Looks like Chaos got its ass kicked. Even though the High Elves were not involved. Wow, the Dark Elves are like actually being super expansionist right now.
Lord of Bretonnia.
They took Corone? Good grief. They like kicked the crap out of Bretonnia. They kicked the crap out of Ulthuan, like we've lost control of most of the island. Which is good for me personally, because it means I can take over the island.
I am Tyrion, champion of the Everqueen.
Why don't we join forces?
Never.
Why? Why you know join me? How am I less powerful than you? What is this? What is this BS? Oh, you know what? It's probably because I bet most of Tyrion's power is locked up here. No? Kinda. The good news about the Dark Elves is that they are not in the north. Like, good lord, Nagaroth is basically empty. Nagaroth got absolutely obliterated. And it looks like there's still some... Oh, Archaon! Archaon's still running around Nagaroth. Oh, man. So Archaon is still leading the invasion of Nagaroth. But that probably explains why the Dark Elves are going so hard in Ulthuan, is that they have nowhere else to be.
Strategy.
Though they are also being a nuisance down south.
Imrick.
But hey, that means I can just take the island for myself, so that's not a bad thing.
I see the winds.
Did I name the best or even top 5 Phoenix Kings? I mean, there's not that many Phoenix Kings, to be frank, but I think there's only like 7. But the best Phoenix Kings, depends on how you define it, but like, I think the best Phoenix Kings, Anarion the Defender, I would say was the best.
Can I offer assistance?
I think it was Belcor Hadris, wait, was Belcor Hadris the Scholar or the Slayer? I think he was the Scholar. He was a fantastic Phoenix King. And then Finnebar. Finnebar was a fantastic Phoenix King. Kaldor the First. Kaldor the First was really, really good. Oh no, Tethlis was the Slayer. Tethlis was the Slayer. Yeah, I would say Kaldor the First, Anarion the Defender, Belcor Hodris the Scholar, Finnebar the Seafarer would probably be like the great ones. Kaldor the Second, Tethlis the Slayer were both pretty garbage. Yeah, they were not great.
You will pay.
Change your Rhino. I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be terribly similar to Orochimaru. There will be some subtle similarities, but that's not quite the angle I'm gonna go with it. It's not gonna be quite that overt of a like this is a snake in human form type design. It's gonna be a little less pronounced.
Let us wake the dragons. Join the kingdom of dragons.
Yay, we got the Sacred Flame of Ashuran. We're legit now. Will it be more snake or lizard? It'll have some, like, notable serpentine features. Like, I'm hoping to have it designed where it has the ability to have, like, when it does, like, a certain animation, like when I hit a specific button or something along those lines, it has the ability for its fangs to get, like, for its mouth to open and have, like, those, like, serpentine fangs.
High elven art.
Which there's like a specific piece of artwork I've seen in the past where someone kind of like drew up a example of what that would look like, and I thought it was super cool looking. What does the bow of the Seafarer do? Oh, it shoots like a big bolt.
Your best.
Really like to get a Sister of Avalorn in this army.
Princess.
Do I have the ability to recruit one anywhere? Why? Ah, pig barter. Of course, pig barter. Why didn't I think of that? Ooh, Genius is pretty sexy. So is Incendiary. Go with Incendiary.
Handmaiden of the Ever Queen.
They're gonna be our badass archer league. It's also good in close combat.
We must be patient. Protector of Ulthuan.
Submit to your king.
Random question: when someone eats a soul, what actually happens? That's a great question. I don't. Based on the way it's generally described, it seems insinuated that when a soul is devoured, the soul is trapped in, like, whatever did the devouring. And it is, like, functionally digested. So it does not go to any kind of afterlife. It is stuck in whatever ate it and presumably converted into, like, energy or something, or kept trapped within the body. And, you know, depending on, like, what kind of creature it is, either tortured or consumed or what have you, is what I would probably say. Well, yeah, like Slash just keeps things in his guts.
Son of the Phoenix. They will know Kalador's name.
Keep your wits about
We're gonna start conquering our way back across Ulthuan. Pushing the Dark Elves out, bit by bit.
Gifted advisor. Hoeth's disciple.
You have no place here, cretins. Cretins.
I serve the Phoenix King. Handmaiden of the Ever Queen. I will complete my orders.
Which book in the Sundering trilogy was my favorite? I think Master of Dragons, the second one, if memory serves. Your Archmage thinks very highly of herself. Well, she is an Archmage. I mean, what do you expect?
The most gifted.
She's also, you know, just elf. So elves are kind of just arrogance personified. They just think they're all that. I started Elfslayer and Max has shown up again. Just wondering how powerful did Max get? I believe you will find that out in the story. But Max is functionally a wizard lord. You should make a Warhammer fantasy novel tier list. I definitely want to do a stream sometime very, very soon where we just let chat submit like a bunch of different kinds of tier lists. And I basically just go through them. You know, try and keep them like vaguely Warhammer related so that we have a like direction that the stream is moving in. But I think that could be a lot of fun.
It'll be no contest at all. They'll thrive under my rule.
A Skaven VTuber who insists he's just a regular guy. It sounds like if Human Boy Yes Yes ever made a YouTube channel, or like just any kind of content. Human Boy Yes Yes is a multiplayer streamer, or player, but I believe he also streams for Total War Warhammer. He's really good too. Very good skating player.
Ready to serve.
I think that would be a amusing design for him. Get more armor. Ina is hilarious. And also, Ina is like, she's so soft-spoken. Also, I'm pretty sure Ina, at least in my experience, I feel like Ina was the first VTuber that really popularized the whole, you know, thing where VTubers, they all do the thing. I feel like Ina was like the big origin of that, because I remember her talking about why she does it. Very early on in her little career last year, and I always found that whole situation really funny. I think we've cleared out the right side.
Greatest of the dragon princes.
They love heart symbols. What? Who's they?
Dragon Prince.
Oh, gosh, I wish I could tunnel.
Make haste, Asor!
Go! Oh, high elves, yes, they do. You are correct. They are fond of their Teletubby symbols.
Master of high magic.
Or Enrock is mine.
One prevails. Asaurian protects.
Tiranock belongs to Calador.
I wield the winds.
What's the super building here? Oh, the Hall of Charioteers. Nice.
Unfathomable knowledge.
Okay, let's do loose. And then immovable force is Swordmasters. Yep. I mean, the whole thing about high elves is that they are hysterically
Highborn.
constantly trying to convince everyone and themselves that, like, oh yeah, we're totally the good guys, right guys?
Handmaiden
Right?
of Dwarven. You called? Lady of the Phoenix Court.
We're the main characters. No one else. We'll get mounted horn blowers, and then we can finally get military advancement 6. I'm still missing a ton of these. I need gems, spices. We just captured wine. I need dyes, kilns, and alchemy. Grief. Normally I'm pretty good about getting those really fast, but you don't really have a lot of those resources readily available, I guess. Where we start? Ooh, if we could take libraries, that would give us spices. I know we just captured wine not too long ago. I'm pretty sure all of them are on Ulthuan somewhere. Yeah, gems are Whitefire Tor. Fur. I don't. We gotten fur? No, we haven't. Wait. That's wood. The growth building, exotic animals, salt. Maybe. I don't remember what first goes into. Which one is the... Oh, the alchemy is the... This stuff. Medicinal plants, that's right. Where is their freaking... What in the world? Why am I getting so many texts? Oh, apparently my door's open. Okay, actually, you know what, guys? Oh my god. Sorry. Stuff happening now. I think that's actually a good place to call for tonight. I hope you all have a... Stop it. Shut up. Christ. I hope you all have a lovely evening. I think this is going to be a good stopping place for us. We will definitely finish this campaign next time, because I think our ending for the campaign is going to be killing the Dark Elves. Because I think even for the long campaign victory, well, we do still need to finish off the Skaven, but other than that, we're done. So we're gonna finish off. Next stream, we're gonna go after the Dark Elves with everything we got, finish them off. We might have to go kill Archaon, I'm not sure yet. Looks like he might still be kicking around. And then we're gonna be kind of pinning the Skaven down and chasing them into the jungles, where the trees speak Queekish.
As your lady.
And finish them off at long last. Where is Athel Terralion located? The city that Malekith first conquered Caliban's birthplace. Oh, I want to say it is... It's either... It's somewhere... I want to say it's in Bretonnia. I don't remember exactly where it is. It's either where Marienburg is, or it's like where either Leoness, Throne, or no, it had a port. So it's one of these Bretonnian cities along the coastline, I'm pretty sure. Like Bordelot, Leoness, Lianguil, one of these. I don't remember which one, but it's one of them. I'd have to look at the maps. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all had a lovely evening. I guess we should find somebody to raid.